Hi, 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 hi. Hey, everybody. Oh. Hi, everybody. I was just doing some behind the scenes stuff, but I'm here. I'm so excited. Hi, Lori. Hey, Mish. Hey, Catherine, Darlene, Charlene, Carol, Anna. Hey, Darlene as well. Yeah, I'm repeating now at this point. Everyone's saying hi to each other. That's so nice. Welcome, everybody. Hasida, Crystal. Oh, it's so good to see everybody. Hi, 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 hi. Guess what, guys? The little reactions are working, so feel free to use the thumbs up. Feel free to use the little heart. If you want to use those, that's fine today. Apparently, things are working well. Hello. Thank you, Lori. I made this background maybe a week ago. I just put up some nice dark purple here so there's no more plastic. Look at all those reactions. Thank you. I can see them all floating up. That's so great. All the little hearts and the thumbs ups. Oh, so exciting. Hello. Guys, we have like 15 minutes before we officially start. Want to chat about anything? Questions, comments? Do you like this painting? It's an original by me. Yeah, you're welcome, Sharon. I am too. Hey, Crystal and Maddie from Newmarket. Hey, Heather, nice to see ya. Hello, Haley from St. Thomas. Someone was asking about supplies. Yeah, I can go over those if you'd like, for sure. So I'll be using 5 paint colors today. I have white, black, red, yellow, and phthalo blue. And then the brushes I have, I'm using 3. Got a large, medium, and small. Simple as that. They don't need to be the same shapes. I have a flat, round, round. Any combo will do. Lisa doesn't have a title. That's a good question. I'm not good at naming paintings, I found out. So I don't usually create my own personal paintings, and I created this one, and I just couldn't think of a good title other than like palm tree, palm sunset. I don't know, just nothing. I need to think more on it. Do you have a suggestion? If we want to like name the painting right now, I'm down because I don't plan on naming it. I'm just kind of like number 1. Number 2 is going to be the butterfly and the flower. Number 3 will be question mark. They're all just numbers to me. So I'd love to name it. If you guys have suggestions for a name, please throw them out. Something fun. I like puns. If we can put like a palm or something, yeah, palm tree related pun in there. Miami sunset, California dreaming. Hey, Susie from Listowel. I am Stephanie. Palm Beach. Just trying to think of fun puns or like, you know, just something a little more Puerto Rico backyard. We could all name it something different, maybe. Beach days. Palm Beach Erin. I don't want to put my name in the title, but thank you, that's kind. Hey, Tina. Bright, I'm sure both of those blues will be fine. You can see we don't really use a whole lot of blue. It's just kind of near the top here, and then we have it for a purple, so Tropical Splendor. Soaking up the palm bays. Yeah, is there some, like Palm Bay is a drink. What was I trying to think of? Like a Long Island iced tea type thing. COVID palms? No, I refuse, Lisa. I refuse. I can't name anything COVID, my goodness. I mean, that's kind of true, Sharon. You're kind of right. Yeah, Corona Escape. You know, I did make a fun pun, actually, now that you're all making my brain twirl here. At one point, I was calling this a Coronication, kind of like the Red Hot Chili Peppers song, Californication. Dream of a Coronication. Potential Corona Escape. You're welcome, Christine. Thanks for tagging your friend Carol. Yeah, if anyone has friends who are looking for this, just tag them in the comments. That would be pretty easy. Palm Fun Day. See, I like that. Fun Day. Right. It's like double meaning, Dorothy. I was thinking Palm Days like the drinks, like those delicious sugary drinks at the LCBO right now. Hi, Kirsten. Yeah, Lindsay. I love them too. My dad introduced me to them. I love them. That's like his signature. He doesn't usually drink, but he has Long Island iced teas when he does. They're delicious. Relaxing retreat. Like treat as a pun. Retreat. This is making me feel like popsicles and like orange sherbet and things like that. Yeah, yum. I want a yummy name if we're going to name it. Anyway, these are all great ideas. You're welcome, Nina. We've got about 10 minutes to go. If anyone has any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, just keep chatting. Where's everyone from today? For those who don't know, I live in Kitchener. Let me know. I'm sure we're all over the place. Yeah, let's escape, Kristen. I agree. Again, it's making me feel so just like summery, yummy, like delicious fruity drinks, you know? Some of you know each other. Excellent. Hey, Carla. Thanks for coming. Repton, Woodstock, Sudbury. All over Ontario. A couple from Sudbury. Welcome. NC, like North Carolina? Dan? Very cool. Tanya, nice to see ya. Hello, Sharon from Newmarket. Amy from Trenton. Yes, Loris, Ottawa. All over. Look at you guys. You're all over the place. Coconut Sunset. That's another yummy name. Anything coconut is just tops in my books. Tops. Like Coconut Paradise. Yeah. Those are all good. Welcome, Victoria. Welcome from Peterborough. Cool. All right, Dan. Nice. So we're out of country, everybody. Dan's from North Carolina. Tina from Ancaster, welcome. Dar from Ottawa, welcome. Crystal from Oxford Mills. TJ from Sterling, hello. Dorothy Guelph, yes. Heidi Brantford. Look at us, all over. Missed you, the first one to say Barry. Surprising. Yeah, thank your friends, of course, Sharon. You're welcome, Faith, of course. Hey, Alexandra. Hello, Jennifer Waterloo. Well, I hope you guys enjoy, again, my painting and how we do things today. We'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, Yeah, Tropical Escape, things like that, Peanut. I agree, they're good names. Newmarket, Waterloo, Toronto. Yeah, I'm just excited for what we can do here. I want to hear what you guys want in terms of just like, you know, hanging out with me. Maybe it's learning how to paint. Maybe it's just like, you know, painting along together with something random. I don't know. I have lots of ideas. I think this could be a lot of fun, just being able to pop on Facebook or another platform and just being inspired to paint, really. Lots of fun ideas. We'll see, Michelle. We'll see. Yeah, Heather's like Barrie area, Angus. There you go. Hey, Christy from Kingston. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have painting ideas, let me know too. I could, where's my little notebook? I could whip that out right now and write down some lovely ideas. I would love to hear what you want to paint. But again, too, just like different ideas for what we could be doing for a couple hours too. I have lots of like, just different things we could be doing. Fun games or, again, just like hanging out. I don't know if that's something you would be interested in, just, you know, being able to pop in and like watching me paint something, watching me paint like personal paintings, you know, just different things like that. All mixtures. I'm just whipping out my little notebook in case anyone wants to shout out any ideas at me. I've already got paint on me, that's neat. Seahorses is right on the top. Sailboats, I love it, Charlene. Maybe I already have plans for one of those. You want some nature. Kristen wants some nature paintings. Hello, Naomi. Yeah, me too. Desert scene, cool. Oh, Lori, have you seen our Sunday event? Because there's a nice big flower in that one. I just posted that today, everybody. On Sunday at 2 p.m. I'll be doing this again with a different painting, another original I recently created. It's a nice monarch butterfly and a nice big like daisy down here. I'm really excited for it. It's actually on my birthday. It's gonna be lots of fun. Anyway, check that out, Lori, if you haven't, but I will write down spring flowers anyway. For those just joining, we're just talking about what everyone wants to paint in the future. I know everyone's really excited for this palm tree, but I love collecting ideas. So if anyone has requests or just ideas for like, you know, what you want this to be, I'm very curious what, if anyone has any fun ideas for like different things we can be doing. Landscapes, yeah, that's classic, Michelle, yes. Heather, you're on, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So Heather said Pictionary. That's what I'm talking about, Heather. Like things, fun things like that that we can all kind of play as a group and just, you know, have fun with. I think that'd be fun. I'm not a stand-up comedian, I'm so sorry. Only if I were to be able to go on Google beforehand and create a whole script for myself. It would probably be dad jokes, it would probably be puns all day, and that's all it would be. If you're down, we could do that. I don't know. How do we make that creative artistic? That could be kind of fun to think of how to do that. Long Island Palm. Yeah, Rochelle, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I just saw my family join. Family, we were just talking about Long Island iced teas. We're trying to name the painting earlier. Octopuses, tulips. And I have another flower painting too that's all ready to go. It's my favorite flower. Maybe we'll see it soon. Something in the fog, says Darlene. Carol says waterfall. Loving this so far, guys. Yeah, you're right, Anna. Cardinals. You've got your palm covered, of course, and there's no reason I can't do more for sure. Lake scenes, campfires. I'm feeling the summer vibes. Anywhere we want to go, but we can't right now. Campfires, like we said, lake scenes, dock. I mean, you could go there, but it's difficult right now. I'm glad you saw it, Lori. Awesome. Yeah, lake cottage, campfire. I'm seeing lots of those. That's right up my alley too. Charlene says dolphins, rivers and streams. Abstracts, yeah, that would be really fun too. Anything abstract. That's the thing with abstract though. See, that would be more like, that would be fun though, to just be able to say, okay guys, grab some paint. Let's just do this all together, and it's not gonna match. We're just gonna have fun doing it, you know? I think that would be really cool if we were to encourage everybody to kind of come online and just paint together, even if it's not following along, just, you know, having an excuse and people to hang out with. Flamingos. Heather, you're so on the right track here. Fun games, yes. I got waterfalls on there. Jeopardy. We do painting Jeopardy. I'll think on it. I'll think on it. Yay, Terry. I'm glad you're excited. Hey, Bonnie. Oh, thanks for replying there, Lori. Yeah, the paint colors today, white, black, red, yellow, blue. Ah, Bonnie, you want an ocean, huh? Well, 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 you should keep your eye on this page because I might already have an ocean ready to go. Remember I had you guys vote on something beachy versus something springy? Maybe it's because I have a beachy painting already. We'll see it soon. Rainbows, tacos. Where is he? There he is. What was the other one? Rainbow, of course. Camping trailer. Yeah, I think camping, campfire is all a fantastic idea. Leopard in a tree. Interesting. Rubber duckies. These are so fun, you guys. I really appreciate it, Carol. There's nothing wrong with that, though, if you want to, you know, make one and then eat it. No worries. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to make one and then eat it all myself. That's fine. We can do that together. Something floral. Yeah, I've got lots of floral sceneries I've got written down. Elephant, cool. Jennifer, check out Sunday if you want a butterfly. Okay, I know we're at 8 o'clock, guys. I'm just having fun chatting for a little bit. So let's keep chatting for a little bit and then we can get painting. Mermaid. Oh, cool. So good with ideas. Water, yep, got something like that. Okay, Trish, yeah. Oh, what's your sister having trouble with joining specifically with? Yeah, guys, my idea is that I do want to keep this available. We'll see how it goes in terms of keeping it on Facebook. My main idea is that I hope to kind of splice this into a shorter video, and then that way anybody who does miss it can watch it in a nice condensed version, so they get all the steps and they can kind of like start and pause, or yeah, pause and start the video as they wish. Yeah, so that's kind of my idea. So it might take a little time to get it up, honestly. It might not be available instantly. I want to say within the week. I'll try to kind of condense it down and edit it in a little fun way so that it's a little more pleasant to view. That's my idea, so we'll see if it works. But yeah, it is my intention for sure. Sunken treasure. Ooh. I saw paint pouring. Excellent idea. It's like a whole other theme we can do. Mystical paintings. Yep. Hey, Shannon. Glad you're excited, Shauna. Ship. Yeah, I wrote down sailboat. I think ship is kind of in there as well. Hey, Sybil. Hockey, of course. So Canadian of you. Do you, Heather? Oh, it's such a fun idea. On Zoom, too. That's really fun. Yeah, tag your friend, exactly. If she can't get in, it might be a little easier for a tag there. Farmhouse, I'm writing down. I would use it, Tanya. I would just try out, see how it is. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's okay. I think it's better to try it rather than go without, unless you want to do a different kind of sunset look. But I think the red is nice for the pink and the orange as we do. Barn, mermaid, ocean, floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I wrote ocean somewhere. Yeah, I did. Right floor though. For the starfish and rocks, etc. Dolphins I wrote down for sure. Gotcha. Okay, Trish, no worries. Yeah, I would just tell her to like the page, keep her eye on it, and I'll post when I can. It is my intention, though, to get it all kind of condensed up. Dragonflies are a great one. Coral reef. Canada Day theme, of course, because that will come up sooner than we think. Great ideas so far, guys. Yeah, magical paintings, good. Oh, Bridget, you're on my level too. I want lots of doggy paintings. I even stuck in a little dog reference to one of mine that I've already done. Trucks, yep. I get your vibe though, the antique type truck, yep. Winter, oh boy, we want to go back to winter though? I understand though, Pina. I'm surprised someone's suggesting it. I love winter like landscapes and scenery. Just don't know if everyone else does. Anyway. Hey Janice, nice to see ya. Country, says Amy, yep. I got lots of like barn farm type stuff written down. Campers, yep. Autism tribute with puzzle. Oh, that's a nice idea. Some pieces. Yeah, I gotcha. Oh, Charlene, yes, magical. I think, yeah, I wrote down magical. The word whimsical really resonates with me as well. It started at 8. I'm just having fun chatting, honestly. We can start if everyone's feeling it. Is everyone ready? Let me know if you're ready. Let's do, again, I can see those little thumbs ups now, so feel free to do some thumbs ups if you're ready to go. And throughout, if you're kind of ready for the next step, etc., you can do that. Oh, cool. Okay, Pina, I see why you're into it. Fantasy Forest, yes. Awesome. Yeah, Anna, oh my gosh. Day-night reversible. I hear you guys. I see those thumbs. Yay! All right. Sloths and pandas. Pandas are my favorite. Okay, guys, if you have any more ideas, feel free to keep them coming. I'll put this down, though, because I did say we'd start at 8. I'm just, again, having a lot of fun chatting with you guys, so yeah. Just being flexible here. Doing what we want. We got thumbs ups, though. That's what you guys want. So let's get to painting, you guys. Welcome! Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Erin, for those who don't know me, for those who couldn't tell by my erinbunpaints page name. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A funky pineapple, that's fun, Anna. I'll keep that in my brain. Yeah, so what we're doing today, everybody, is we're on Facebook Live today, and what I'm going to be doing is recreating my beautiful painting. You know, don't usually like to gloat, but I like it, and it seems like everyone else likes it, so that's really great. We'll be recreating it step by step. So what I'll be doing is I'll be displaying mine. You can have a look at mine here. You can have a look at it on the event page as well in that little banner photo. I'll be keeping it behind me. I can bring it forward if we ever need to do that. Succulents, Bran. Oh, good idea. I'm going to move this forward. Now keep that here. And you can paint along with me. So if you want to get all of your materials ready, you can. What I'll be using, everybody, is 5 different paint colors. I use white, black, red, yellow, and phthalo blue, but any blue is fine. And then my paintbrushes, I have 3 different sizes. I have a large, medium, and small. So I have a large flat, a medium round, and a small round. Otherwise, I have a cup of paint water. I have a towel. And I guess that's it, yeah. I'm just wearing something that I already have paint on, so that's good for me. Fireworks is good. Succulents, fireworks, yes, okay. Great. So those are the basic materials, everybody. So if you want to get those, I assume they're all ready. We can get right into it here. Let's have another look at this painting here, which is still nameless. We're just all naming it whatever we want today. I'm glad they're your favorite, Kimberly. I've learned to love them too. It was really fun looking up kind of examples of palm trees online, seeing all the different kinds. It really made me realize how different some palm leaves are, kind of based on the photo. These ones are very droopy, lots of thin lines in there. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and start, guys. We're gonna start with our big brush. Any big brush you have is perfect for this. We'll be starting with the nice background here. Ooh, a castle with fireworks, I love it. Sunflowers, yes. So first thing I'm doing, everybody, is I'm just dipping this brush into a cup of water. I'm using this trusty yogurt cup personally. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just using whatever you got. And I'm gonna start just by applying some blue on that canvas there. Hello, Angela, welcome. I'm almost out of blue, you guys. I gotta get some more soon. All right, so I've got a nice big brush. I got some blue on it. I'm gonna remove this. I don't want to paint on it. And I'm just gonna put that in the top corner. So I'm going diagonally. And yeah, going to about here. So how far is that? Let's see. I guess that's about 1/3 of the way across, about 1/4 of the way down. You can see I'm just kind of angling it left to right, going from down to up. We're starting with that nice easy step. That's just a nice big brush, Kimberly. Any big brush you got. I'll be using this for the background as we kind of blend all our beautiful colors together. Beaches, sunsets. Let me get my notes back. All right, so that's step one, everybody, just applying a little blue in that corner. You can go ahead and do that whenever you're ready. What else did we have here? Fairies, pineapple. And because we're in the corner, everybody, you can definitely move your paint to the edge here, kind of along the side, along the top. So feel free to do that. We got that enchanted forest down, Diana. There we go. All right, I saw a few thumbs up. Let's go right ahead. So next, everybody, I'm going to make a nice purple, and I'll teach you how to blend it into the blue so we get a nice transition in our background. So in order to make purple, you're going to be mixing red and blue together. Red and blue. Just dipping a little red on my plate here. Did I introduce my plate yet? I don't think I did. This is my volcano plate. Welcome to Volcano Plate. Look how big it is. It's getting so big. This is a plate, everybody, I've used for about 5 years, and all the paint has dried and stacked into this beautiful volcano. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh. So it has a nice like pit in the middle, and all the paint keeps flowing down. So welcome to the volcano plate. Ooh, coffee themes. Or tea. I'm a tea girl. So if you want to mix some purple together, everybody, I'm just grabbing my big brush. I didn't even wash it off. You can just do red and blue together. Red and blue. And in my painting in the background, I did add a little bit of white to my purple, just to lighten it a little bit. I don't want it to be a lavender. It's just a nice kind of medium purple, let's call it. Nothing super light. We still want it to be kind of dark. So just a little bit of white in there. You can see it just brightens up our purple a little bit more. Because we are transitioning, right? We're going from the blue, which should be nice and dark, to a little bit of a lighter color. And you can see it down into our beautiful pink next. Beautiful, bright purple. Love purple. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that just below our blue, still doing some nice diagonal strokes. Looks like I brought it pretty close to the corner here and kind of sweeping down. Ooh, sweeping down a lot. Let's go like 1/3 of the way. So when I do this, I personally like to put the colors on first and then I blend them. If you're someone who likes to blend as you go, just blend as you go. There's no rules here. No rules, guys. If you ever want to change up what I'm doing, that's kind of the point. This is just supposed to like inspire everybody to get painting. If you want to follow along, you can. If you want to follow exactly along, you can. If you want to change things up, you can. It's all up to you. Painting should be just fun for you. So create the colors you want, create the designs you want. It's all customized. All right, so I have two nice colors here, but I want to blend them together. I want them to kind of mold into one another, right? So I'm going to be taking my brush. There's no extra paint on it. It just has the, remaining purple paint. And I'm going to sweep in between those two colors. And you can see what happens is my brush kind of picks up a little bit of both, moves them together so they transition. You go from blue to like a blue purple into purple. I'm going to write down that coffee theme now that I have a quick second. So take your time blending. Coffee/tea. I'm going to write down tea as well because I think that's a fun idea. Yeah, like a nice steaming cup, maybe just a nice relaxing scene, a pile of books or something like that. I love all your ideas of like just comforting things too, comforting spaces, comforting items, all great things to paint. Makes you feel relaxed as you're painting it. Then you can look at it later and feel even more relaxed. How are we doing, guys? How are we doing with the blue purple? Doing okay? Waiting for those thumbs ups. Again, I can go at all of your pace. We're just going to do whatever we want here. Here they come. Thanks, guys. Yay, thank you. Great. Okay. So keep that in mind. If you guys are ever done, you're kind of like wanting to move on, just throw a little thumbs up. It helps me know what pace everybody wants today, okay? All right, cool. So the next color is this beautiful hot pink color. So I'm going to wash off my brush now at this point because we are kind of switching colors. We don't want any remaining purple or blue on here. So I'm just washing off my big brush here. I'm going to mix together some red and white. Red and white. That's okay, Victoria. Yeah, if you want to even just type, I see some people throwing like a little thumbs up emoji in the chat. That's fine too. Anything to help me just know where you're at. If you want to type it out, that's cool too. So I'm mixing together, everybody, I'm mixing together red and white. I'm personally trying to make a beautiful hot pink. So I'm using about half, maybe a little extra red between those two colors there. Okay, my volcano play is getting quite pink and bright, purple, blue. Everything but lava. So I'm grabbing my pink and I'm going to put that probably about just below halfway. I'm going to sweep it kind of across like this. I'd call that about a third of the way up, roughly. And same thing, I'm just going to do some nice big back and forth strokes. And I'm just filling in that space that I created. Once I reach the purple, I will blend into it, and I'll reteach you how to blend just in case you want to see me do it again, but you can, again, go at your own pace there. So is anyone coming on Sunday? Is anyone going to be painting that Monarch Daisy? Let me know. I'm very excited for it. I've been working on that painting a while. I changed it up a few times. Yay! I'll see you there, Marissa. It's just gonna be a lot of fun. It's really interesting having a birthday during COVID, honestly. It's you know, I have friends contacting me saying like we should pop on Zoom and hang out, and that's a cool idea. And I'm happy to do that. But it is kind of weird just not being able to like go out anywhere or really celebrate with a large group, and that's honestly why I wanted to, you know, paint on Sunday with everybody here because it'll be a lot of fun to be able to spend my birthday with a lot of people, even if it's online. And painting, like I love painting. It's all the things I love. So we'll do, Kimberly. No worries. Let's have a little pause after I do this pink. I'll blend it, Kimberly, and then we can take a little pause. Okay, so I've reached my purple, so now what I can do is blend it. So you can go at your own pace here. Again, if you're still adding pink, just keep going. But I'm just sweeping in between my pink and purple, and I'm blending those two together now. You can see I kept it pretty smooth in terms of keeping my purple up here, keeping my pink down here. If you want to make it a little streaky, you can definitely do some like purple and kind of streak it in if you want, or grab a little extra pink and streak it into your purple. But I'm kind of keeping it a little more separated today. I just like the nice smooth transitions in this one. We do a little bit of streaking below, but not right now, not yet. So you can see I'm going over top a lot here. That was because my purple was a little sticky. If you're finding it's a little hard to blend, it might be because your purple is also a little sticky, maybe a little bit dry. You can just keep stroking over top, or you can grab a little bit of your dry color, which would be purple, and you can use that in between your pink and purple. This is still sitting there, huh? It's just dry now. I did that right at the start. Now it's completely dry, so I'm just going to leave it. Why not? Oh, Lisa, Kristen, Susie, Heather, I'll see you all there. Victoria, yeah. Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad, guys. Oh, I think I wrote down sunflowers, but I will again, just in case. Bridget, Carol, I'll see you there. Oh, Heather, yeah. See, it's, yeah. Kind of like, yeah, just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it all. It'll be different, that's for sure. And I guess that's kind of the goal, is I don't want to be, yeah, like lonely on my birthday, honestly. I just want to be able to spend it with whoever, doing whatever I like. And I like painting with all of you guys, so that's what I'll be doing. Yeah, you're welcome, Teresa, of course. Yay, I'll see you there, Sharon. Awesome, Mish, I'm so glad. Yay, Leanne. Yeah, I'll see you there, Leanne. Oh, guys, I'm so happy you're all coming on Sunday. That's great. That's great, Vaughn. Yay. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Maybe I'll try and wear a birthday hat or something silly like that. Who knows? Maybe I'll make a cake, and again, we can all eat it together. You can watch me as I down my whole cake. Sure, Charlene, or paint on something else. Paint on a rock if you want it, or just come and hang out if you want. If you want to just have something to do on Sunday, you can just turn this on and hang out. That's the other thing. You don't have to be painting all the time. You can just, again, I think it would be fun if we just kind of made this a fun thing we all do. Thanks, Mish. Awesome, Lori. That's okay, Lauren. We can catch you the next one. You're here now, and that's fun too. Awesome, Tanya. All right, we got a thumbs up or two. I'll wait for maybe a couple more. Yay! Oh, you could paint a cake. Yeah, if I didn't already choose the painting, I could have maybe done like a funky cake. I just don't know how many people would want to paint a cake, but I think that'd be kind of fun. And we could decorate our own cakes using paint. Maybe we could do that like as a side thing. That would be kind of fun. I'll teach the Monarch Daisy, and then if anyone wants to watch me decorate a cake with paint, maybe I could do that. That could be a lot of fun. Thanks for the thumbs ups, guys. We will move on. You can wash off your brushes. Big brush. Yeah, Sarah, I think the word is interesting. I don't want to say they're totally like depressing or anything, but they're just different and interesting. I think we all just, I think the more we do, then the more it'll be easier, and just we'll be able to think of more things to do to make like a birthday a good birthday, you know, even virtually. Yeah. Ah, Charlene. Try Michael's, try Curry's, try Desserts, D-E-S-S-E-R-E-S. All of those might have them. I think Michael's is kind of in and out of stock right now. All right, guys, next color is going to be a peachy color, a nice peach, beautiful peach. So that's kind of our in-between transition between our pink and our very, very pale kind of yellow here. So we can take the big brush here, and peach is going to be made by mixing yellow and red together. So you can even use your pink. Actually, I'm going to lighten mine up a bit. So let's do that together. We can grab a little extra white, plop it on top of your pink to make more of a light pink, because you can see our peach is a pretty light color. You can kind of see it poking in right there. Just helps us transition to our nice yellow and eventual very, very light yellow. So to make this more of a peach, what we do is just grab, oh, I don't have any yellow. I just want to grab yellow, and it's a dry patch of yellow on my volcano plate. So whoopsie. That's what the volcano plate does. It tricks me all day. All right. So just a little bit of yellow is needed, everybody, for those painting along. We're just grabbing a little yellow on the brush, putting it right on top of your light pink. You can see what it does. It makes it more of a peach. So you want to avoid adding too much yellow because that'll turn it orange, unless you want orange, but I want more of a peach. So peach is going to be mostly the red and white and then just a little bit of yellow in there. See how it's more of a peachy tone? You can really tell when you put it beside your pink. Looks a little, as I say that, and then on the screen it doesn't look any different. Let's try that again. I'll lighten up my peach and see if that helps you see. I know I can see a difference. Maybe just my camera isn't really picking it up. It looks lighter for sure. I'll put a little more yellow and then I'll go for it. Again, it's more important that you have a peach you like. It doesn't need to match mine. You don't really need to see mine. So I'm just putting this in a small section personally. I just kind of use it in our transition area between our pink and our nice kind of like yellowy white area here. Just a small little strip. Same thing, nice big strokes left and right. And again, I think my pink is a little dry. So if you ever run into an issue where you're trying to blend and something isn't blending because something's a little dry, just grab the dry color on your brush. So my dry color is my hot pink. And I'm going to brush in between those two areas. Because what you're doing is you're reapplying the dry color. You're adding a nice fresh coat of it. And you can see here, it blended away there. Very nice. So I'm going to just do that all the way up. I didn't mean a literal cake, Carol. I can see how you took it that way, though, because I said painting a cake. I meant, like, I could get a canvas and make a little cake outline and, like, paint it whatever I want, you know? I can design my own cake and then not eat it. And then eat a real cake instead. But I like where you're going anyway. If I could make, like, a nice blank-looking cake, a literal cake, and then use some food coloring and like paint on it, that would be kind of cool. My mind is just twirling right now. That would be so fun. Wonder if anyone would want to watch that. I don't know. Maybe it's just something I do on my own time with nobody watching. I don't know. Kimberly, I was just applying some peach underneath of the pink. So peach is made by mixing red and white and a little bit of yellow. I was putting that underneath of the pink. Oh, I've got some brush strokes up there. If anyone ever gets any things like this, that just means your bristles were kind of playing with the paint a little bit, moving around. You can grab a little more paint and just do some nice long brush strokes on top to get rid of it, or you can just say, oh well, that's up to you. I think I'll try to cover it, see if I can get a nice similar pink. There we go. So that was just because I was probably going like this with my brush, so instead I'm going to go like this, nice big strokes. There we go. Great, and I'll see you Sunday, Teresa, as well. Oh, I didn't know that, Tracy. Tracy says that Staples has some art supplies? Huh. For sure, craft. I know I've bought, you know, obviously office supplies, but, you know, colorful tapes and stuff. Washi tape, for those who know what that is. I've bought at Staples before. Yeah, little like stampers and cutting items for sure. Fun things, fun office things, you know. Didn't know they would have paint or canvas though. That's interesting. I honestly think that would be fun, Heather. I don't know if I'm alone on that. I mean, we're already painting on Sunday anyway, so maybe that's a future birthday. When is Bob Ross's birthday? What if we did one for Bob? October. That's a while away. We could decorate a cake for Bob. Wouldn't that be so fun? I think that'd be so cool. Okay, I saw a few thumbs ups. Wait for a couple more. You can wash off your brushes if you are ready to go. I'm just gonna be blending another color. We'll be doing a nice like soft orange next, soft like yellowy orange. Then we're doing some more blending. Cool, all right, I see those thumbs. Let's go. So I've washed off my big brush here. I'm gonna be mixing together lots of white with a little bit of yellow. And I'm gonna throw a little bit of red in there as well, tiny bit of red. So this is gonna be what I call a nice soft orange. Nice like creamsicle color. This painting is full of such a nice, beautiful colors. I think I was probably thinking of food the whole time. Little yellow, little red on top of a pile of white. So very soft, soft orange. I'm gonna make it a little more orange. Try my best to keep it the same. Okay, and you can put that right below your peach so you can see it's a little bit softer, a little more on that orange kind of yellow side. This is just all these nice, beautiful colors in small areas to get a nice quick but smooth transition into our bottom area. And the other thing I do with this color, everybody, is instead of going like kind of upwards like I've been doing, I'm gonna even it out a little bit. Not even out, but I guess I'm gonna kind of curve and then curve a little more straight at the end. So it's gonna still kind of curve up, but it's more so with a downwards curve. Minor detail, but that's what I did just to kind of switch it up a little bit. See that? So instead of these upward curves, I'm now doing kind of an up to down a little bit. Again, very minor, but just something I did in mine. Same thing, I'm blending it in, so I just kind of quickly went up to my peach and I'm now sweeping across back and forth, blending those two sections. I really loved making all the colors for this painting. And again, blending them all together, making them all just nice and smooth. They're all there, all those pretty, pretty colors. Yes, Kimberly, we certainly could. Again, that's more October, but why not? Carving pumpkins using paint. A literal pumpkin or a pumpkin on a canvas? We could do either. We could do both. I think if I made a Bob Ross cake, though, it wouldn't have a pumpkin on it. It would be like lots of happy little trees. Maybe his little squirrel friend. What else? Some mountains. I'd use a palette knife to scrape on some stuff onto the cake. Nice big old paintbrush. How could we make him beat the devil out of it, though? Maybe an easel on there. Anyway, that'd be really fun. Okay, I'm seeing some thumbs ups. Wait for a couple more. We're gonna go down into our white/yellow section. So the next section, everybody, just to give you a warning, is I'm gonna be doing some white all in the bottom here, and very quickly we'll be moving into blending on some yellow just to make it a little bit streaky. Okay, so it'll be a little of a quicker step, actually. Wait for a couple more thumbs, couple more. Just want to make sure we're all good. Here they come. All right, guys, I'm just pouring a little more white on my plate because I've run out personally. Great. Okay, so again, a little bit of a quicker step. We're going to try our best to kind of quickly put on the white, and then that way we can use it as it's still wet and blend in a little bit of this kind of nice yellow tone you have here. We'll be doing clouds on top later, but just the yellow for now to make it a little bit more wispy and streaky. I did, Tanya, yeah. Sorry, I maybe went a little quick with that blending, but yes, I'm blending pretty much every color in the sky here. I guess it's because it was a smaller step. I kind of moved up a little fast. So you can do that now. Everyone else, though, you've got a nice clean brush here. I'm grabbing white paint. And again, I'm going to try my best to quickly put this on because I want this to be wet for the step after this one. So you can see I'm putting it everywhere underneath my kind of creamsicle color here. So I'm going all the way to the bottom at this point. This will cover the rest of my canvas. You should definitely blend it as well, so you can blend it into your creamsicle color above. So I'm just lightly swiping back and forth in between that creamsicle color and the white, so it just softens up that final edge there. So you just got nice and soft. So I'll leave a quick minute if you're still applying white, and then I'll show you what I do to get that nice kind of yellow glow. So I have a little yellow glow even at the top, and then just a little bit for some streaks. So if you need a little comparison, that's what's going on. That's what's going on here. So even though I made this exact painting, this one's going to be a little different. I already see this is a little more hot pink, but I like it. I like how bright it's turning out. Okay, so again, as promised, I'm going to go a little fast into the next step. So I'm just grabbing that same brush, this nice big brush I've been using. I'm going to grab just a little bit of yellow. I even wiped off a little. I second guessed there. Get that light out of here. Just want to show you how little is on there. It's just on the tip of the brush, you see? And that way, when I apply it on the canvas, only a little bit's going to come off. What I'm doing is I'm just putting a few very quick horizontal streaks across. I'm not worried about how they're looking right now. I'm just going to leave them there. And I like this yellow glow that I had up here, so I'm going to do that too. I'm going to do kind of like a yellow streak right near the top. Kind of looks like, again, it's almost glowing right there. So I just swept my brush across. So now I have all these just sporadic, very harsh looking streaks everywhere. And what you can do now is just wash off your brush. Try your best to also wipe it on a towel or paper towel just so there's not a lot of water. And you're just going to sweep that clean brush over top of your streak. So I'm starting with this nice curve up here to make kind of that yellow glow. And then I'm going to move down and I'm just going to streak across. And what happens is your brush pushes the yellow into the white, blends it in, softens it up. And look at that, you got a nice streaky sky. It's kind of white, it's kind of yellow. Who knows what it is? Just anywhere in between. You can do this as much or as little as you like. You can see I'm going to keep it pretty soft here. I really like to blend these in so they're very, very subtle. Maybe I'll do this once more with maybe a tiny bit more yellow, but I really like the very quick transition personally, this nice bright, bright sky, and then all of a sudden it's kind of just very blank, very clear sky down here, because we're going to add some clouds down here. We want them to be kind of the stars of the show down here, so keeping it nice and blank. So I just added a couple more little blotches of yellow, a couple more horizontal streaks, and now I'm just blending those in by brushing on top, letting it blend into the white. And I'll do a little more up here. Teeny bit more. Just make it a little more glowy. And again, remember, it's your painting. Do what you want. If you want to remove this glow or make yours all yellow down here, nice, soft, pretty yellow, go for it. All right, maybe a little more. Oh, I just can't get enough of this yellow. I'm going to do a little more. All right, so that's what mine's looking like. Again, you can see very, very soft. And yes, Diana, I blended the white into that creamsicle color, if that's what you're asking. So just the color above it, I just kind of swept very quickly across. Then that way the white blended in, and then I added a little yellow there too to help kind of give it a little bit of a glow. But yeah, again, very soft. You can see there's still lots of white hanging around on mine. And again, if you'd like to make it a little more yellow, certainly you could. For sure, Heather. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you want to just hang out and watch, that's what I'm into too. That's what I do. I almost never watch people like Bob Ross or anybody on YouTube or whatnot, and I don't really like paint along with them. I'm watching them and I'm just having fun watching. So that's it. Yeah. Dandelions, nice one, Diana. I'm into all flowers. All flowers, all plants, greenery, love it all. So after this step, everybody, I actually take a little bit of a pause because I do want to let this dry a little bit because we'll be doing our clouds on a nice dry surface. So after you're done kind of blending your white and your yellow together, you can just take a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a break. And yeah, we can just kind of chat in the meantime. If you have any other questions about the painting or anything else, let me know. If you want to throw out more ideas for me in terms of painting themes or ideas for what you want to see here, that's what I really want to know. Yeah, I'd love to be able to hang out with you guys as much as possible and just anything painting, art related. Love to do that with you guys. Because I say it all the time, like I'm always learning. I know everyone is like, oh, you're an artist, Erin, wow. I'm learning all the time. I was learning as I did this painting. And I think it would be fun if we could just like paint and learn together too. So any ideas there? Yeah. Cherry trees, ooh, that's kind of a new one. I like how specific you are. Yeah, Diana, I would blend the white, yes. If you're talking about the white into the peachy, oh no, that was the creamsicle, orange creamsicle color, then yes, you would blend that. Yeah, lighthouse, I think I wrote down lighthouse. I'm losing track of what I've written down, but I'm writing them all down anyway. I'll condense this all later and figure out which ones I repeated, that's fine. Yeah, Haley, I definitely have fire, camping, galaxy I don't, but don't you worry, I'm working on one right now. Some of these, it's great to see some of you guys suggesting things that I either have already done or I'm in the middle of. I'm just playing around, finding my own way through it. Love it. Yeah, me too. I find it so relaxing, Sharon. Before I go to bed, I'll throw on a Bob Ross episode. I used to watch him in the mornings as I woke up. And you learn so much just by watching, in my opinion. It always helps to practice and do things, but I think just watching too is so good. You might as well. Like Heather's cooking her dinner and watching. She's doing two things at once. She's multitasking. Cooking a good dinner and also learning some painting and having fun and just hanging out. Yeah, Dorothy, I can relate. That's why I have my painting back here now. I have a nice, like, you know, sheet up, so if any splattering happens, hopefully it goes on the sheet. I should be tilting this a little more so that happens, but, you know, things happen. Lauren said lilies. You may have just guessed my favorite flower painting that I've already done. So that'll come soon. Feathers are a good idea, Michelle. Horses, yeah. Definitely have scenery on there, Diana. Whoops, almost dropped my pen. How did I get my pink so bright, Tina? It might be just the brand or the tone of paint. I find that really affects things like the brightness of your pink. My pink was made by, I would say, mixing a little extra red into the white. So rather than half matte, half, maybe 2/3 red, 1/3 white. But if you're curious, this is the kind I use. This is the Start Academic Acrylic. It says bright red. And there's lots of different like warmer reds, cooler reds. So if you're curious about mine, it's this one. It's nothing special in terms of mixing. It was just, again, a little extra red into that mixture, but it's more so, I think, the brand or the tone of the color there. Yeah. Forest is in there for sure. Yeah, exactly, Heather. I can relate. Yeah, no, I knew what you meant. I gotcha. I appreciate you clarifying, but I knew. Sunsets. Can't wait to try these all out. Yeah, Tracy, you said city skyline. I was trying like a nice kind of like rainy city, rainy street painting. I had a lot of trouble with it, but that's what I mean. Like, maybe I could just pop on here one day and just, you can watch me try it out and we can all help each other and you can try it with me. I don't know. And then when I get it all figured out, I'll teach you how to do it. But yeah, I don't know if that would be interesting to watch or not. Oh, Lori, Butterfly's coming up on Sunday. Check out our Sunday event. I just posted it earlier today. It's a nice monarch butterfly. Has a nice daisy on it, a nice pale yellow background. I'm a real fan of it. I worked a long time on that one. Yeah, daisies, Michelle, are coming up Sunday. Hope to see you there. Dragonflies are on the list, Charlene. Yeah, Christine, that's exactly what I do too. He's so soothing. Exactly, it just helps me unwind and relax. Yeah, Charlene, I put waterfall, but I'll put Niagara Falls if you want. Specifically that look. You're welcome, Jessica. It's good for me too. It's fun for everybody. Oh, that's so funny, Kimberly. I wish I had a pet watching. Hey, Ty, nice to see ya. Ooh, I'm writing that down, Angela. Yeah, you certainly can. He's all over YouTube. He's all over Netflix. Yeah. I think they have almost all his episodes up at this point. I know on Netflix they were doing like kind of like seasons. They had a collection of like Winter Scenes by Bob Ross and then like, you know, mountains and stuff like that. But I think YouTube at this point has pretty much all of them. You could look it up. All over the place. Ooh, ballerina, nice. Yeah, Mish, I wrote down the feathers for sure. And Pina, I wrote down some galaxy. How's everyone's paint doing? You want to check if maybe that's a little drier now? I think mine's like the sticky stage, so I'll probably leave mine for at least a few more minutes. Check it out. We can go at your pace here. Photo, sunrise. It's a lot of blending, Brissa, so you could probably use this kind of technique here, all the blending I've been telling you about, and use that for yours. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, Lori knows he's on Netflix. Oh, that would be so cute, Carla, like a little family. Bears, yeah, that's adorable. I want to do some more animals. I have trouble with animals too. But again, I'm happy to learn. Yeah, Kim, that might be your paint brand or tone or just the pigment of it. So don't blame yourself, just blame the paint on that one. Again, I use the Start Academic Acrylic. I have bright red and I have phthalo blue. So if you like my purple, maybe you can stick with those. Oh, everyone's throwing hearts right now. What's up? Maybe everyone's ready to move? I did ask if your paintings were dry. Mine's just sticky, so I'm just going to leave mine a couple more minutes, guys, because I know I left mine to dry a long time for the clouds just to make sure they're not blending in or disrupting the background. So it's good if you're all ready. I'm just going to give a couple more minutes. Yeah, I think some are sticky as well. Okay, cool, cool. Glad we're on the same page. Ooh, yes. Fiesta. Nice musical themes, too. I saw guitar there. Pina, yeah, nice. Nice fishies. Oh, not dry at all, Shauna. Okay, no worries. We can spend a few more minutes at least. No worries. Yeah, Lori, that's what I mean. And like, again, I'm always learning too. That would be really fun if I could just like experiment and maybe do like, you know, clouds, for example, and I can experiment with clouds. I'll do some that I know how to do. I'll say, what if I do a wet on wet cloud, for example? We can all just kind of watch and play along together. I think that would be really fun if we all kind of learn together. Gagnon, you have so many ideas. Mountain. Mountains are a must, a must. Look out, Gagnon. I might have a beach already done. Yeah, Rochelle, I have lots of like country scene type stuff written down, so that's a great idea. Yeah, pick it, yeah, stuff like that. Dar actually posted a little emoji, that's cute. That's like a nice scenery painting for sure. All right, good to know, Diana. Yeah, we'll still give it at least a couple more minutes just to make sure we're all on the same page here. Make sure we're all nice and dry. Hasn't even been an hour yet, so we got lots of time to play with, depending on how much time you guys have too. I'm just curious, yeah, how you're liking the pace and stuff. So you just let me know. Okay, Amy, Amy, and someone else was asking about the purple too. You could always try adding a little more white. I find adding a little more red to those grayish purples is helpful. You said grayish blue. Yeah. So next time, or you could try now, if you want to try overlapping and then trying to blend out the edges, you certainly could, because acrylic paint's great that way. Once it dries, you can go right on top with a new color and cover up what you had. You can try mixing your purple with just a little extra red this time. I would say I did about, yeah, I think I did half there, and it worked out because we were transitioning from blue to the purple to pink, so I wanted it kind of right in the halfway point there. Anyway. Yeah, Dar, you're very specific. Got some palm trees on more of like a daytime look. Cool. Kristen, you're funny. Okay, Mish. So Mish says dollar store paints are like a shade off on the pigment there. And yeah, just any brand, it's, yeah, they're all just going to be different, right? I'm sure. So yeah, I kind of stick to the same ones so that I'm comfortable with them. I know what they make. I'm sure if I were to switch brands, it would be, whoa, what would I be doing? You know, I'd be looking at my paint colors too and saying, how do I do this? How do I get my bright pink and all that? It's just a lot of practice with the same things and getting comfortable with, you know, with what you know. Umbrella. Rain scene, Pina. Nice. I got you, Diana. I can see why you're voting for that. Oh, that'd be really cute, Kim. Or like a cliff jump. That would be cool. I like that whole kind of scene, that vibe though, like the cottage and jumping into a lake, dock and sunset, all good stuff. Jen, that's such a good idea too. You're getting all very specific, but it's great. Forest perspective. Background check. Let's check again. I'd say mine's pretty dry, but I'm willing to see how you guys are doing too, and we can give an extra minute or two if you'd like. Want to do whatever everyone's good with here. British painting. Winter scene. Yeah, I wrote that down. Again, TJ, I'm surprised people are suggesting winter scene. I thought I was the only one who loved winter, but some of you want it back still. You can go back to a week ago and experience. Yes, Jessica. I feel like I have Galaxy on there. I'll write Milky Way though. And a fall scene. Even out of season, would you do it? Would you do it? I would. I would, Lori. Birdies. I think I wrote that down. Again, I'm probably writing down doubles, triples. That's all right. Still wet for Mish. Okay, cool. No worries. Yeah, Kelly, I anticipate it too. Yeah. Hang out in the meantime if you want, or you can check back on the page another time. Totally fine. Northern Lights is on there for sure. That's good, Mish. I'm glad. And I'm glad Julie as well. Gotcha, Kim. You sure could, Mish. I was doing that a little bit with some of the paintings I was creating, just because I was messing up things, to be honest. My painting on Sunday, I painted over a couple of times in one area, and the only thing that tends to happen is there might be some texture. And that's only if you really caked on paint. So at one point I was making the flower, and I really caked on the paint in the center of the flower for the little middle, and you can see like just slight little bumps here and there. But I put on a couple more layers of paint. You'll see on Sunday I do a couple layers of things, and it kind of smoothed it out. There was a little bit of texture, but nothing that, you know, I thought was visibly noticeable. Just, it was something that I noticed, but I'm sure if I showed it to anyone else, they wouldn't have noticed it. So yeah, you certainly could. If you wanted it a nice blank white, you might need 2 coats, but in the end, you could probably do 1 coat, and then your second coat being the actual painting itself would probably do it just fine. Yeah, Artist Loft is great, Dorothy. I've used their paints before. Owl's a great idea. Don't worry, I got feathers on the list, some budding trees. I got like springtime trees. All right, we got still a few people saying it's still we got like half now. That's great. Okay, guys, so we'll still leave a couple more minutes just to make sure we're all painting together at a good pace. Again, it's fun to just have a nice little relax too. I don't know about you guys, but I like just chatting and seeing what you guys are up to and what you want to paint. Sunrise. See, how do we distinguish sunrise and sunset? It's always a question when I'm making my paintings. I'm always like, is my sun rising or is it setting? I don't know. Toronto, CN Tower, says Swan. You said CN Tower, and I'm going to say Toronto. Oh, yes, TJ, I've got camping on there for sure. And I'm glad I'm not alone on the winter scenes. Diana, mountains, fireflies, definitely. Cool, Leah, you're dry, excellent. Probably a couple more minutes. Ice cream, oh my gosh. Don't get started on the foods. I'll make all the food paintings. Let's go on and on and on about food as we do it. Yeah, I got Lighthouse Star for sure. Coral Reef would be so cool. Yeah, we've got Under the Sea. I put Under the Sea and Ocean Floor. Where did I put that? Yes, there it is. Coral Reef. Cool. This is an endless. Do you see this? Do you see how many? endless ideas. Awesome, guys. Saw Father's Day theme. What do you think of when you have a Father's Day theme? Some fine art. Yeah, exactly. Yep, use this time however you want. If you want to leave for a little, that's cool. Peggy's Cove specifically, cool. It's been a couple minutes. One more time, guys. If you want to check your background, let me know if anyone's still wet, sticky. A graduation. Oh, that would be a really sweet idea for all those grads. Here I am talking about birthdays, and that's so sad. Those grads, that's yeah, that would be quite the experience too, graduating with not being able to experience it with your class. Anyway, what did I say which was funny? Uh-oh. This always happens. I say something and then everyone's like, ha ha ha, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, I know, Teresa. Everyone has such great ideas. No drama llama. Peanut, you're good with these puns. Yeah, fishing, you're for sure right, Peanut. Golfing, fishing. Okay, these are the Father's Day ideas I'm sensing. Yes, tools, cars, fathers, yes. Why are the laughings? Oh man. This is why I couldn't do comedy hour, Anna. It's because I don't know. I'll try to be funny one time and no one will laugh, and then I'll say something off the cuff and like, ah. Anyway, canoe. Oh, good one, Michelle. Dry, still wet, dry. Yes, fun, healthcare workers. I'm getting more dries. I saw a couple still wet. So again, a couple more minutes and we'll just keep on it. Right, Tracy? Right? She says that her blow dryer is now an art supply, and you're dead on correct. I think I use my blow dryer more for my paintings and my hair. I just let my hair mostly air dry and then I'll like style it up, but yeah, it's definitely a painting tool now. Okay, getting lots of dries. Anyone still wet? I'm gonna give a minute or two to see if anyone still says wet. Might be time to pull out that hair dryer if it's still very, very wet, just so we can go semi soon here, because I think majority is dry here. Little bicycle, yeah. Yeah, I did like a day-night theme already, Margaret, so that's a good idea. I think, oh yeah, moose I didn't write down. Cool. Okay, yeah, let's say 2 more minutes. I'm watching the time and we'll say 2 more minutes. If we have any wet still, maybe try to find some sort of a hair dryer type thing. Give your canvas a little bit of a wave, that might help as well. Because I'm seeing like 90% are dries here, so. Yeah, Samantha, exactly. Life of artists or crafters, huh? Exactly. She says her iron is for perler beads and wax activities, not for clothing. Yeah, you don't need an iron for clothing. You just use it for crafting. Awesome. Good plan, Diana. Oh, good, Mitch. I'm glad it's dry now. I know, Heather. Cactus. I saw your desert already, Catherine, but I'll add cactus to it. This one in ducks. Why not all the seasons, says Marissa. Yeah, why do we have to be in one season? We're in a painting, we can be in all seasons. You choose your favorite. Okay, 1 more minute. I'm watching that time. 1 more minute and then we're good. Yeah, I have a hard time visualizing all these ideas myself. It really helps to get just like bases like this. And again, a lot of you are getting quite specific, which is really nice. I'm so glad, Kim! Join the Volcano Plate Club. I hope everybody is starting a volcano plate at this point. Come on, catch up to me. If you paint like 10 times in a day for a couple months, maybe you can make yours nice and big like mine. I know a few of you are working on volcano plates, like I saw. Cool, guys. Canvas section of flowers. Oh, okay, Lisa. Okay. See, that's like, so multiple canvas. Yeah, I like that. Dot Cottage, I for sure have, Karen. And I did write autumn/fallmish for sure. I was saying, like, would you paint it out of season? Someone was like, yep. So there we go. I don't know, Catherine. I still haven't weighed. I don't have a scale where I live in here in my apartment, and it's heavy. You want to hear it? Brace your ears. Ready? That was it. I'm not kidding. This thing weighs a ton. This could be used as a weapon, probably. Like if someone were to break into my apartment and I would be like, hey, yeah, and just throw it at them, it would damage them. It would knock them right out. So Dad's always concerned for my safety, and he should just know that I have this big thing. And I'm safe. There you go, Dad. I don't need any pepper spray. I just need a volcano plate. It's fine. Yeah, now you know. I wasn't kidding. You're all like, wow. It's huge. Think about it. It's paint that's all dried in here. It's all layers and layers. It is so rock hard and heavy. Yeah. Anyway. It is a regular paper plate, yeah. There's actually another one under it because I was worried that it was kind of like getting wet underneath at one point, I think, so I put a second one, but it's 2 paper plates. This one is solid to the paint, and this one's just a little like bracing underneath. Anyway, yep, that's the one. Okay, thanks, Dad. Dad doesn't like my volcano plate as a weapon. He says bear spray's better. Okay, I'll keep the bear spray. All right, guys, let's go on it. I think everyone's pretty much dry, and if not, I think you've grabbed your hair dryers, which is fantastic. Yeah, for real, Julie, I don't need a meat tenderizer. I don't know, Terry. I'll talk more about my plate in a second. Let's go on, though, to the next step so we can start to do that. We can take some time with it, and we can keep chatting here. So the next step, everybody, I'll be making some clouds. Check these out. I love these. So my clouds kind of stick, you can see, in the nice kind of white light section. I maybe brought one up a little higher, and I did bring 1 or 2 kind of right behind my palm tree. You can barely see them though, so if you do want to skip that, go ahead, but you can see just a little bit of orange peeking through. That's because I tried out a cloud up here, and clearly I didn't think it was that important because I covered it up with my palm tree. So it's up to you if you want to do that. But essentially what I'm doing is I'll be using a different brush. I'm using this kind of medium-sized brush here. Mine's a medium round. If you have a medium flat, that's totally fine, but I just like to use something with kind of denser bristles. You can see the bristles are still long, but they're kind of more pulled together, you know, rather than my big, big, big brush. And what I'll do is I first do my cloud steps in a little bit of yellow. So you can see how they're kind of like multi-layered. There's this nice yellow layer, and then I put some orange on top, so it creates a little more of a darker layer on top. And then I go in with a little bit of white. Maybe you can see the little bit of white stacked on. That's a little bit better there, right there. Yeah, it's kind of like 3 layers, all the same technique, just kind of placement's a little different, and obviously the color's a little different. So just so you know that. Okay, let's do it. So any medium-sized brush is fine. I'm gonna grab my yellow paint. And the key to this is dry brushing, everybody. So we're only gonna be using a small amount of paint, and we're going to be kind of rubbing it off of our brush onto the canvas. So it'll kind of make this scraping noise. It's not the most pleasant noise, but it means you're doing it right. If it's kind of scraping and going, that's what you want. So I'm gonna use this brush. Again, I'm gonna tap off some yellow on my towel over here. And all that's left is just like my bristles are kind of coated with yellow. See how there's no blobs on there? You can see all those nice bristles. Yeah. Okay, so here I go. You can choose anywhere in your nice light section here. And I'm going to start rubbing my bristles. I like to do the rubbing in kind of a swirling motion. So I'm moving my brush round and round like this, just tighter, round, 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 round. And clouds are all different shapes, but I personally like the shape of having kind of like a taller middle, and then it comes back down on the edge here. I'm gonna try and tilt this so you can see. I realize the yellow is gonna be a little hard to see on the light background, but hopefully you can see enough here, maybe just what I'm doing with my brush. So you can see I'm swirling, I'm moving it up, 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 and then I'm coming down, down, down. So I create kind of like a little bit of a bump. See it glistening in the light there? And please note as well, you can see I've kind of created some individual curves too. So while swirling my brush, I'm kind of bumping it up and down as I move it up, so I get these individual little bumps and lumps. So it makes my cloud appear a little fluffier. So it's just that for now, it's just kind of that archway. Oh, Kim. But you love him anyway, right? So once I have that shape, it's kind of like the shape of the top of the cloud, I'm just continuing to rub or swirl my brush down kind of in the middle area there. And then lastly, what I do is I kind of shift my brush left and right and kind of blur out the edges a little bit, wisp out the edges. So you can see the edges are nice and straight, nice and wispy and thin. So you can see I really like kind of the elongated look. You can see it goes up and down, but that's how wide it ends up being. It's very long, so it looks, again, very wispy, like it's kind of blowing around. I'm just going to play with the top a little more. And maybe you noticed I didn't reload my brush that whole time. I used just that tiny amount of paint, and that was important because it comes off super nice and soft like this. Allows you to get some nice wispy streaks like that. I have a feeling you'll see this a little better when I do orange, but hopefully you're getting the gist of it there. I'll keep going. I'll keep doing more if you want to see. Of course, we want to add some more clouds, so I'm going to keep going. Yeah, I'll bring it forward in a second too. Maybe you want to see a kind of pulled back version. So I'm doing the same thing. I'll just choose a spot. I'll start rubbing my brush. There was a little too much paint on there, so I just wiped it off a little extra. Yeah, you can't see that. I'm going to move forward. Rubbing round and round and round, going from left to right, but also bumping up as I go, bumping up and down, but mostly up. And then I'll come back down, so it's even with the first place I started. I'm going to keep rubbing in the middle of that cloud there, so the middle needs a little love. We're going to rub some yellow in there too. And then lastly, I wisp left and right with my brush, just lightly, again, very lightly rubbing, just moving that small amount of paint around. It makes it look nice and wispy, like it's kind of moving with the sky. Maybe that's a better view. See there. Ooh, there's a big hair. Oh, get out of there. Get out. Ooh, All right. So one thing to note, everybody, too, is I started off with this one. You can see it's pretty even, pretty symmetrical. Like I go up, 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 down, down, down. I really like to switch it up so you get a variety of clouds. So this one kind of goes up, 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 up very casually, and then down very quickly. So I think that's great. That way you get lots of different clouds while using the same technique. They'll all look a little bit different. So I'll do another one. I'll try and make it a little different as well. So I'm going to start, let's start here. I'm trying my best to follow what I have, but you know, it's going to be a little different. So again, making sure I'm wiping off the yellow from my brush. This time, I'll swirl and go up very quickly. And then I'll go down, down, down very slowly, very casual angle down, slow angle down. Rubbing in the middle of the cloud, softening that up, and then wisping left and right. So again, hopefully you can see how quickly that went up and then slowly went down. So I've kind of done like most varieties here, the even one, the one that goes slowly up and then quick down, and then quick up, slow down. Looks like a lot of you are relating to the whole pet scenario where they're stepping in paint and moving around. Again, you love them anyway. Just what they do. I'm sure in the moment it's like, ah, but then after it's a good laugh. You're all sharing it now, so it's a nice, good laugh. So I'm just gonna add a couple more clouds, guys. I don't add too many. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could say anywhere between 6 and 8 are there, depending on if you want to include the one that's behind the palm tree, depending on if you want to include one that looks like just a little wisp. You can do that too, by the way. You can just kind of wisp across. You don't even really have to do a big center. You can do a little more wisping. Maybe do a tiny bit of a bump up like here and there, but see how subtle that is? Again, you can hardly see with the yellow, but I'll add orange to that later and you'll be able to see. But all I did is I wisped left and right, did a couple little swirls just very briefly in the middle. And it's just a little teeny guy. It's just a little small little baby cloud, right? So remember, this is fantastic practice because this is just the first layer of 3. I'm going to be adding some orange on top, and that's going to give it even more dimension. So if you feel like they're looking a little flat right now, even though they might look soft on the edges, they're just kind of like, they're there. That's the reason we add some orange. It's the reason we add a little white on top. It gives it a lot more fluffiness and dimension. So there you go. Awesome, Diana. Awesome. Well, yeah, personally, I'm going to add a couple more. And I'll show you one more thing too. You can add clouds right next to clouds if you want. Even if they kind of combine a little bit, it'll look a little bit messy for now because it's going to be lots of yellow, right? It's going to make it look like one big cloud. And you're going to be like, oh no, what did I do? But I'll show you this. When we add the layers, you'll be able to show the viewer which cloud is in front of the other one. So with the yellow, it's going to look like one big old shape. And you're going to be like, oh, what is that? And then what we do is we add orange to the bottoms of them, whites to the top, and that helps really show this cloud versus that cloud. So if you want to try stacking some, try it out. Even if it's just a little pair like that. It's the only 2 I stacked. The other ones are all very on their own. So I'll try and mimic what I did over there. I'm just stacking on a second cloud kind of right behind my other one, even though it's going to look very combined right now. It's going to look like kind of all one big shape. I'm not going to worry about it right now. It's going to pull together when we do our second steps here, second, third steps. Same idea though. I just did that bumping up and down with my brush, rubbing, 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 moving left and right. So you can still see they're kind of separate shapes, but again, they're still together and we want to make them look like one is behind another one, and we'll do that with our other steps coming up. Just having a look at my painting. I think I'll add one more here, and I will add the one up here. Honestly, I will be skipping the one that I did up here because it's just going to be covered. If you want to add it, it's the same steps, but I'm personally going to skip it. Okay, so I'm starting this one just like half off of the canvas. That's another thing you can do is start them a little bit off of the canvas. You can start it a little higher and just bring it down as if the other edge is kind of hiding. Keep that in mind, just gives a little bit of a different look. All the same steps, just adding, adding, adding. And always remember too, if you absolutely hate something, first of all, give it a chance. But second of all, if you've given it a chance and you're like, I don't like it, you can cover it up, right? You can always wait for it to dry. You can put some white on top. But I always try my best to give it a chance. Either alter it or wait for it to dry a little bit and add to it. I think it's cool to kind of see what you can do with those happy little accidents, as Bob calls them. No mistakes, just happy accidents. They turn into something even cooler or something you just didn't expect. And you're like, oh, okay. You know? Okay, so I had one kind of in my peachy section. You can see how transparent it is, but again, that will be kind of moved around and fixed up with the orange and the white on top. It'll help it kind of pop off a little more. You know, clouds are a little transparent, so that's actually kind of nice, but of course, you know, we don't want to see streaks through it, right? So just know that we'll be altering that. I know, Kimberly, I know. I will, I guess, yeah. What should I do with them? I'll hang 2 at a time everywhere in my apartment. I'll just hang both of these. Why not? Someone will walk into my living room and then the bathroom. They'll be like, "Did I just see this painting?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got 2 of them." Okay, how are we doing, guys? I heard a few of you saying you were good with the yellow clouds there. Is anyone still playing around with them? Take some time with them. Again, the next step will be very similar, just a different color, but still want to make sure we're all pretty good here. I'm just wisping a little more in the meantime, just going back and forth on the bottom edges here, making them lighter. Again, feel free to use the thumbs up, or you can type. Want to do a progress, you know, update, you can do that. I'm seeing lots of thumbs. Good, 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 good. All right. All right, let's do some orange. Nice. So again, for those still working on the yellow, keep going if you want. Or maybe if you're in the stage where you're like, I don't know if I want more clouds, you can move on to orange and you can always go back and add clouds, right? So again, I'll show you the orange and then we'll do it. So this orange, I would say it's pretty much our creamsicle color. Remember the creamsicle color we made up here? It was just a very, very light orange. We make that. We use the same technique. We're dry brushing. The only difference is this time, we're keeping it a little lower in the cloud. And then that way we have the nice yellow glow that we worked so hard on. It's kind of on the top, on the edges here, wisping out. And the orange stays more at the base. So it's kind of like in the middle, kind of wisps on the bottom there. And again, it creates some layering. What did I say that was funny? Creamsicle? Oh. Anyway, I'm glad I'm entertaining you guys. All right, so let's make that creamsicle color that nice orange. So I'm just remixing it because it dried a little on my plate. So it was yellow and red, and then a little bit of white in there. Only I knew what those little reactions were. Just a little bit of white too, guys. I maybe should say maybe a little brighter than creamsicle. It's a little brighter because we do the dry brushing and then it kind of lightens up too. So let me show you what I have just so you can reference there. Right there. It's hopefully not hitting the light a lot. Maybe I'll show you on my brush there. You'll kind of see when you apply it too, right? If you feel like it's not showing up well enough, you can just make it a little bit of a brighter orange. And let me show you what I've got here. Let's see how it looks. So it's going to be the same steps. Again, I grabbed that color, I wiped it on my towel, and I'm lightly rubbing. So you'll notice it comes off a lot, you know, more prominent this time because it's of course a darker color, but you can see what I'm doing is I'm trying to stick to the base of the cloud. So I'm letting the top really kind of glow and shine, but I'm still doing that rubbing motion. Still coming kind of back down here. You can rub, you can go back and forth, it doesn't matter. You can even tap if you want to try that. But again, this is just something I've learned that works for me. You should learn what works for you. And then you can wisp a little at the bottom here. I can fill up the middle a bit more. Mine's a little sticky. That's why you can see me really trying to rub hard here. It's kind of sticking a little bit. So maybe I should suggest working on a cloud that you started with. I think maybe this was like cloud 2 or 3 or something. Start with your first clouds. That way they'll be nice and dry, be a little more of a smoother dry brush. That's what it's looking like there. Just kind of, again, the base, pulling up a little bit, wisping across there. I'm gonna do a little more. Let's go. I think I'll actually remix the color. Let's do that. And you don't have to make it even too. I was gonna say that one's pretty even. Again, that symmetrical cloud. No, it was the first one because I made the symmetrical cloud first. You can kind of make it a little lopsided too. So the orange doesn't have to perfectly make a nice perfect arch of the yellow. It can kind of, you know, stick a little closer to the bottom and then abruptly go up. It's kind of like you're creating a second cloud on top of your first one, right? So it can differ a little bit. I would say as long as you're leaving somewhat of a yellow glow around anywhere, that's fine. So that's a good example there. So I kind of followed the pattern of going up and then down slowly, but you know, again, I'm not following the exact shape at all. It's just kind of its own little thing down here. Lightly wisping back and forth. So again, orange, you want to be a little more careful with. It's a little darker. Just maybe touch a little lighter as you go. Use a little less paint. Well, that's okay, Tanya. So Tanya, what you can do is you could probably leave the cloud alone at that point. You can probably go to a different cloud. Mine are turning a little dark too. I think I might lighten up my orange. Yeah, do as I'm doing. I'm adjusting my orange. I'm gonna make it a little lighter. And what you can do is let the cloud dry. And one of two things, you can either cover it up with a little more yellow, maybe some yellow mixed with white, that would help. Or we can wait for the next step and see how that goes, because the next step is adding white. And I guarantee actually even my clouds, the white's gonna dim them down a little bit. It helps kind of break up the color a little bit more. So you might wanna give it a chance, as I suggested before. You can give it a chance, see how it looks after you add the third step of white. If you're not liking it, you can just say, all right, that's all right. And just, again, use either yellow or even just some white, kind of rub on top. Then you can do another cloud on top if you wish. Or you can just leave the white on top and let it become some sky, you know? Point is, you can cover it up or you can try to, again, use the next step and see how it looks. So there's my teeny cloud, just so you can see that a little bit better. So really it was mostly just wisping left and right. I did a tiny bit of a bump in the middle, but in the end, it's just a very wispy little guy over here. I'm gonna keep going here. And you'll probably see too that maybe some areas are a little more orange than others. Maybe you rub a little harder and you get some like darker orange streaks, some just a little bit softer. That's perfect. It doesn't have to be consistent. I think that all adds personally. So yeah, I'm glad you said that, Tanya, because that is a good point. If anyone's feeling like they look a little dark, even I'm thinking that I look a little dark right now, but I'm trusting that the white is going to help me out here. We're going to do the same thing with white again, just a different placement. So, you know, it's going to dim down whatever it's on top of. It's going to be a little transparent. It's going to be good. And you can do these steps in any order, by the way. You might see me switching it up. Maybe I wisp first and then do the little, you know, rubbing, swirling motions. That's all up to you. You can do whatever you feel like in the moment. That's all I'm doing. All right, just continue to work my way around. I've got 2 clouds left. I do one more thing with the orange, by the way, before we do our last white step here. So just so you know. With your stack clouds, I should mention, I kind of did this by accident, but you might want to avoid wisping right on top of the foreground cloud. You want to choose, of course, which cloud is in the foreground. I'm choosing this bottom one to be in the foreground. So instead of wiping right on top, I'm just going to maybe try and rub that away if I can. I should have maybe rubbed here, let that stay so that I can have this in the foreground. But again, we're going to add white. I can just make sure to add white right here so that this cloud really pulls forward compared to the other one. But again, it's nice to plan ahead. If you want to choose which clouds are in front of one another, you can kind of use the orange to make it hide behind the cloud that it's hiding behind, right? Wouldn't make sense to go on top if it's not in front. Even though I did that by accident. There you go. Okay, I've got one more to go, and then we can check in, see how we're doing. So I'm going to darken my orange just for this one specifically. Just on mine, I noticed my orange was not really showing up. So if you have a cloud more in your kind of pinky peachy area, you can do the same thing. Just darken up your orange a tad, and that way it'll pop off a little bit more. So I just added a little more red and a tiny bit more yellow. You can see now it pops off a little bit better here. In the end, it's still the same idea. You're giving a darker kind of core and bottom to your cloud, wisping it out like that. Cool. Ta-da! All right, let's have a look at how you're doing. Ooh, Kimberly, ooh. It's exciting to hear. So I only saw like 1 or 2 thumbs. I saw a wow face or 2. So let me know when you guys are ready and I can teach you about the white. And again, let's have a little comparison. You see they are a little darker. That's okay. It's fine. We can either keep them darker or we can use the white to just bring them right down again to a little bit more of a dim look. Hope you guys are having fun though. I see some thumbs ups. That's cool. Doing well at keeping it pace here. Even more, yes, awesome. Okay, I think I've seen enough thumbs. Awesome. All right, I'll teach you about the white now. So again, for those still working on orange, don't panic, you can just keep going. This is gonna be a very, again, similar, pretty much the same step, different color, slightly different placement, okay? Cleaning my brush, same brush. Grabbing a little white, tapping it off on my towels. There's only a tiny bit left. Now, we add, what I would say with the white is we add the least amount of white. That's number 1. We add the least amount of it because we have mostly yellows and oranges. Number 2, the placement is closer to the top. You can either go right at the top or maybe even at the top of your orange. So either top of yellow or top of orange. See how it just kind of, it's like a nice little highlight to your clouds, especially this one you can see up here. And then third of all, I do keep it nice and soft. You can see how soft it is, but if you would like to experiment with just a tiny bit more paint, it might be kind of nice. I kind of like these, again, a little harder to see, more prominent white strokes. You have maybe a couple little white curves that really fluff up the cloud. And I like to use just a little extra paint for that, and then that really pops off again for the curves. I like to go with my brush, just with that noise too, very important. Say it as you do it. Just to really curve it up and make it nice and fluffy. So again, a little extra paint on your brush. You still want to wipe it off, but I would be a little more daring with this one in terms of how much paint. So let's go back to my original cloud. I've got my white all ready to go here. It was wiped off. Still doing these swirls. And I'm again sticking closer to the top. You can go maybe a tiny bit into the core if you want. If you need to soften things up, you can certainly purposely, you know, add it to wherever you want to soften. And again, I'm going to be a little more daring. I'm going to grab a little more white. I'm going to do that again. Ooh, see that? See how it just dimmed it down a little bit there? Not a whole lot, but enough that it's not like too punchy, in my opinion. I like it. So again, I'm just grabbing a tiny bit more white. I'm still tapping it off, but I'm kind of layering it. Again, I really like the look of having a couple strokes that are a little brighter. See how those are covering and these ones are more transparent. Try that if you're oh so willing. You can even, again, tap it on rather than swirling. That might be a little nicer if you want more of the, you know, prominent white. Look at that, see? You gotta trust it. You gotta trust it and say, all right, let me see. Cool, I'm good with that one. Let's go on to the next one. White paint, wiped it off. I'll do my little baby cloud. Just a tiny bit of white is all he needs. He's good the way he is. He just wants a little bit of a highlight moment. Having a little more white. Let's go to this one. I'm kind of throwing my suggestion of doing the clouds in order out the window here. It seems to be working out fine, but if you want to keep with the order that you started with, just to make sure you're not going on top of any really wet paint, then you can do that. But because we're dry brushing, the paint obviously is pretty dry pretty quick, right? You're really scraping it off. It's not like you're applying big blobs of it, so it is pretty safe to kind of move around however you please. Okay, so you can see this one's a little more transparent. I'm going to tap on maybe a little more white, get a couple kind of bright white spots on there. Yeah, that's all up to you how much or how little you want to do that. Again, tapping or swirling. I'm going to pull this back just to work on this a little more. All right, oh, let me show you these two clouds here if you have any like friendly clouds that are kind of close to one another. So again, the white is, I would say, the most important part in this step. Making sure that you're really highlighting the top of the foreground cloud so it really sticks in front. So it's okay if maybe some of the yellow, again, kind of mixed in, or the orange, but as long as you put this white right on top, you can see what it does. It pulls this cloud forward a bit, and it makes it look like it's literally in front, right? So especially right at the top, anywhere where it's just kind of overlapping, I especially like to do a nice bright white right there. Really helps it pop off, and then you can continue with the softness wherever you want. And of course, with the cloud behind it, you just want to make sure you're not overlapping white on top of your foreground cloud. So I'm going to keep my white further over here. Maybe I'll softly bring it down, but I'm not going to overlap with the other cloud. I'm going to leave it be. This one can have its highlight moment up here instead. There we go. See that? Now it looks like they're in front. One's in front, the other's behind. I'm going to do my last guy up here. And this guy I'm going to be a little more subtle with my white just because, again, he's in a darker background, so the white's really going to pop off. So I'm just making sure I'm going in with a little bit of white to start. It's always safer to start with a small amount. You can always stack on more, right? So if you're ever nervous, just really wipe off your brush a few times. Try it out, and again, you'll get more and more comfortable. Okay, just having a pull back look. I think maybe I'll re-add. You can go back and re-add, of course. Sometimes that's nice. Once you do one layer, you can kind of let it dry, have its time, and then you can go back, add a little more. You'll see it just gets brighter and brighter, but still nice and soft as you do it. And I could seriously do this all day. I know when I was doing this one, I was just like, more and more and more. And I kept going back and adding just another small layer and a smaller layer and a smaller layer. Then you got even layers of white, right? So it's pretty cool. Tapping, rubbing, tapping, rubbing. Because the white can sometimes be a little transparent when it dries, so it might look nice and bright, and then it dries, and you're like, oh, I could still add a little more. So you can go back and add if you want. I'm just kind of doing that to mine. I'm grabbing just a little extra white, maybe popping on a little more, like right at the tip tops. And that way it just kind of really pops off on the top. Good. I'm going to stop there. Another tough thing for me to do is stop when I like it. All right, let's see how everyone's doing. Yes, the whooshes. Yes, I really hope you're doing whoosh, whoosh, whoosh as you go. Yeah, no worries, Joanne. And if I can help you at all, let me know maybe what wasn't working. Was it too bold? Were they just not the right shade? Let me know. Yeah, Kristen, it's like, oh, it's just like heaven above, right? Just the white, just, oh, beautiful. Oh, Tanya, that's fun. That's kind of fun. They could be alien ships. I mean, if this is palm tree, we could be in California where, you know, Area 51 is hanging out. Maybe some little aliens are coming to say hi, and who knows. But if you want, I can definitely help you with fixing those up a bit. I think alien ships, I'd be thinking that maybe it's just kind of like one bulb in the middle, kind of like really flat and then going. So try making smaller little round objects around it, and then that might kind of fluff it out more rather than a very prominent middle, right? There you go, Lisa, yeah. Yeah, Kristen, you can do the top, and I do carry it down a little bit, but I carry it kind of very softly down. If you're doing any very prominent white, I stick it right near the top. There's another good example here. You can see right at the top white, maybe some of it transparent down here. You can barely see on this guy. Anyway, hopefully you can see, again, bright, 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 and then it kind of transparent on the way down. But mostly the top half for sure. Oh, Sybil, I'm jealous. I want mine to look like cotton candy. I can't do any of these food words. I just go, oh, I want it. Honestly, you could have a cotton candy sky. Like, I would love that if I had a cotton candy looking sky. Oh my gosh. Okay, Joanne, excuse me. Well, yeah, if you let me know again maybe what they were kind of looking like, I can definitely give you some tips. Yeah, no worries, Kristen. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes here. You're still adding the white. Again, maybe some of you are having questions about the clouds. Happy to answer. And then we're really just at the palm tree. And the palm tree, I'll let you know, it's a nice silhouette, obviously. We have a couple steps kind of leading up to the palm leaves, but really the majority is going to be just given some time for palm leaves. I'll teach you how to make them, and just going to be adding one at a time, nice and slow and calm. So it's going to be a nice kind of finish off here. Oh my gosh, I would love to paint a lollipop. Thank you, Kim. Shannon, oh my gosh, yes, for sure. If you like it without the clouds, keep it. I've had that sometimes where I paint a painting and I just say, ah, that's good. Again, someone said, let's do some abstract type art. Like, why couldn't just like the sky be abstract? Just a nice, beautiful, blended color. You can match it to whatever, room you're gonna hang it in, do a couple nice colors. It'd be great. That's funny, Tanya. You're saying, what color do I use to fluff in the clouds? I would use the white probably to make them a little fluffier. You could try and go back to the yellow if you want, and very lightly kind of just softly put them on the edges. But I think to fluff them up, the white would probably be best. And maybe if you're thinking that they're not very soft or fluffy right now, maybe using a little less paint and just kind of rubbing a little more in the circular motions, because I think the key with fluffing is the small little round bits. Kind of goes round, round, round. Even though it looks like a big shape like this, there's lots of little round puffballs in there, right? This one's a little bit better. You can kind of see with the white there, round, round, round. So you're making little mini round objects as you go. Watch me struggle as I look at the camera. Round, round, round. So try making those little individual round bits as you go up and down. That might help fluff it up a bit. White is my answer though. You could do it with any color. I know, yeah, lollipop, just like candy, right? That would be so fun too, with all the colors and all the swirls and stuff. We could just like paint a big lollipop and just like swirl all day. It would be like wet on wet blending for an hour. Just one color after one color after one color. I know, Kim. We can all be having lollipops at the same time. It'll be like a lollipop theme. We'll play that Munchkin song from Willy Wonka. The lollipop. Yeah. It would be great. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun doing some like theme stuff, We could all make sure we have some certain things and all party with our lollipops at the same time. Got some thumbs up. Maybe that's for the lollipop. Maybe it's just for you're done. Yeah, thumbs up if you're ready to go with the white here. If you're done with that white, we can go on to the palm tree. I'll give another minute or two just to see how many thumbs I get. Oh, and you know what? Oof. Remember we were doing the orange and I was like, we do one more thing with the orange. I didn't do that one more thing. Are you guys curious what it is? It doesn't matter. I did technically swipe some dry orange on here. Oops. Remember that? I got so caught up with having fun with the clouds. So I will do it just because it is here, just in case you want to do it. If you're happy with what you have, you do not have to add this, but you can see some more prominent streaks here. I used the orange to make those. So you have those yellow soft streaks that we did earlier. I used a little bit of the dry brushing orange and did a couple of those. I will do that because I feel bad that I missed that. I literally said, we're going to do one more thing with the orange. I got so excited about conversation, I think, or the white maybe. Anyway, so again, if you don't want to add these, if you're super happy with what you have, maybe just skip this, but if you want to add a couple more little orange wisps, that's all I'm doing here is I'm grabbing my brush, grabbing a little more orange, tapping it off, and you're pretty much just making horizontal lines. That's all I did is I went back and forth lightly. And I liked that because, again, it kind of streaked up the sky a little bit more, and it almost made it look like there were a couple clouds that were literal wisps, you know, because we had the yellow ones doing that, and now I just have a few orange ones as well. And I don't know why I chose the dry brushing rather than wet on wet, but that is what I did on here. Maybe it was an afterthought, and I was like, oh, I could dry brush some orange on. So again, you can see it wisps it up a little bit, and it does fill up the space a little more. So if you're feeling like your sky's a little empty, but you don't want to add more clouds, just do this here and there, just lightly dry brushing some orange left and right. And you can see it really starts to fill it up. Even like background clouds, they could be clouds way off in the distance. They're just very wispy. Do one more here, maybe. A little more orange. Come on. Tiny bit. One more time. Cool. I think that makes a good difference. Again, it really fills it up a little more. Yeah. So your choice whether you want to do that. I'll do a quick minute if you're doing that. Thank you, Kim. I won't. Okay, I see your thumbs ups. Cool. I'll give one more minute just in case anyone wisped. Again, just blew right through that. We can do our palm tree coming up next, I promise. I'm not missing anything else here. Let's have a look. Let's compare. Glad I noticed that. Phew. Yeah, so this one looks a little more yellow. Maybe I had extra yellow in there. Huh, all right. Just brighter yellows. More thumbs, more thumbs. Awesome. Yes, palm tree emojis are ready for the palm tree. Cool, I'm glad it helped, Sharon. Awesome. Yeah, it really does. I think it really filled up mine a little bit more here. All right, palm tree time. All right, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'll start with our nice big trunk. So what I did with my trunk is I just started with a thin black line going about 3/4 of the way up, and then I slowly thickened it up, and you can see I add a little bit of kind of a ridge detail here. So I'll show you how to do that, but essentially all it is taking your brush and just kind of going wiggling on your way down. It kind of wiggles in and out, in and out, in and out very quickly, so you get this nice smooth ridge. Okay, so that's all we're doing now is just the trunk, and then we can go through these nice palm leaves. All right, so I'm going to use the medium-sized brush I was just using for my clouds here. You can use whatever you want, though. Nice medium-sized one. You could technically use a big one or a flat one if you want, but I'm going to go for it with this medium one. My black is dry. Excellent. I'm going to pour some more black. And obviously I'm using black paint for the silhouette. If you want to change that up, feel free, but I'm going to keep the silhouette look. Okay, and I'm sticking mine smack in the middle of my painting. So find the middle the best you can. I'm going to look here and try my best to figure out the middle. Ooh, that was a little far over. That's fine. Okay, and again, I started with a straight up and down line. Again, I'm going to look straight on just so it's not completely curved. I'm going to try my best to make it straight up and down, and I would say it comes about 3/4 of the way up. So pretty much like the top of your pink area, I would say. If you followed along with about how much pink, purple I was adding and where, you can kind of follow along with that. So I just did a little shaky line there. You can see it's not the thinnest line, but it's still thinner than my trunk, so I have some flexibility with where to move it. I added a little tick mark here, so I'll just make sure I'm thickening up my trunk this way, right? So again, you can start with one line just to kind of show yourself where you want to go, and then that way if it's a little off center, you need to move it, you can thicken it one way or the other, right? You can kind of shift it a little bit. So that's why I like to start with a nice small line, and I can move it around where I want. So for now, I'm just thickening it. I'm not worried about the edges. I will teach you that after we get the trunk on. In terms of the width, I would say it's maybe the slightest amount wider at the bottom, and it gets just slightly thinner on the top, but barely any. You can see it's a pretty consistent width all the way up, as palm trees are. They're maybe just a tiny bit wider closer to the bottom. And again, I'm trying to keep it pretty straight, but I'm not too worried about how straight the lines are right now because I'm adding ridges to them anyway in a minute or two. So you can kind of, you know, don't worry about that, relax about that for now. As long as it's mostly going up, that's good. And palm trees sway, of course, so maybe yours is a little sway. It's a little bit of a windy day. But again, you can kind of alter just by making it a little wider and then making your new line a little straighter if you need. You can just end it however you want. You can see our middle gets very cluttered anyway, so it does not need to be anything fancy up here. You're just ending it off. All right, I'll watch for your little thumbs when you're all ready for the ridges. Or maybe I'll just go ahead with the, go ahead with the ridges in the next minute or two, because that was a pretty quick step there. There we are. Thanks guys for the thumbs, perfect. All right, so if you want to watch me here, I just grabbed a little more black paint on my brush. And now that I have my trunk, I can just concentrate on the edge. So I'll try and show you maybe like this. What I do is I press my brush in the middle of the trunk here. And then what I do is I watch the outside. So I'm going to watch the left-hand side, my left. And I'm just moving my brush in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out as I go. I'm watching those outside bristles and see what they're doing. They're making a little bit of a ridge. You guys see that okay? Let me know. I still have the other side to do. Again, pressing my bristles down. And as I go down, I'm going in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. It does help to have a fresh amount of paint on here so you get some nice clean edges. So rather than using a small amount of paint, you know, again, there's no blobs, but there's a fresh amount on here. Okay, here I go again, pressing down, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, very quickly. I like the very quick little ridges here. And you can see I'm constantly reloading my brush because it does help you get a nice clean edge. You can see they might alter a little on the way down. That's okay. Depending how quick or how slow you're going, just try to keep it as consistent as possible, but it might change a little on the way. Yeah, so that's one side. Just gonna scroll down the comments, see how we're doing. Cool. Let's do the other side. Maybe you can see a little better this way. So pressing down, and then watching my bristles on the right-hand side this time. I'm gonna move down and start to wiggle my brush. Ready? In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Love how it flows. So cool. Grabbing a little more paint. A little more paint. Oops, need even more. Your paint might be kind of caking up in the middle, but I'll show you how to get rid of that in a minute. For now, I think it's good to just kind of concentrate on the outside edge. All the way down. Cool. You might have a big bump or two like that. That's fine. You can leave that alone, or you can just maybe, you know, alter the bumps around it, make it a little bigger around it, and that'll help kind of hide it a little bit more. There he goes. He just blends in a little bit better now. All right. So nothing major here. I'm just going to smooth out the middle. So if you were doing that, you're obviously adding lots of paint. The middle might be very kind of ridgy. You might have lots of bumps in there. So I'm just using a brush with no extra paint, and I just kind of wiped it down. And then my brush picked up some of that paint. I can now wipe it off. Do that a second or third time if you wish. Just if you wish to get rid of like a large amount of texture in the middle. Maybe you like texture, you can kind of keep the paint there. But I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit. Oh. Here it is. So I'll give you a little bit of time there to get those ridges done. If you need to even out anything, you can. Otherwise, again, it's really just the palm leaf. So I'll teach you, they're pretty much all the same. Again, you can see they're all just different directions, but I have lots of different tips for you. And you can really just take your good time. I'll go at my pace, you go at yours, and we can check in with how we're doing. Ooh, got a big mixture of emojis there. I think we got about every single one. If anyone was sad or angry at their painting, let me know what I can do to help. But yeah, you can do that technique a second or third time if you need to. If anyone was having a little bit of issues, you can go again, just make it a tiny bit wider. You can have a little bit of a wider tree, that's okay. Yeah, no worries, Kimberly. So what you could do is try again, and instead this time like kind of overlap a little bit of what you've done and just make them a little bit less prominent. Just kind of slowly wiggle your brush this time. It's all about learning. You just try again. It'll make your tree just that tiny bit wider, and it won't be a big difference. It'll make it a nicer edge in your opinion, right? So you should try that. I'll give one more quick minute. I'm seeing some thumbs. Here's some more, here's some more. There we go. All right, I think we're getting there. Cool. So again, once again, I'll talk about the palm tree. So if you're still working on your edge, keep going. You can kind of listen along and then I'll show you. All right, check this thing out. So I looked up a photograph online and used a couple photographs to kind of figure out how to do these palm leaves. Again, big learning experience for me. I've never really looked at palm leaves as much as I had for this painting before. Usually when I do palm leaves, I kind of start from the middle, I work all the way out. And for this tree, I noticed all these big like branches on the leaves. Like there wasn't all this foliage until the very end here. So very like hanging, very like heavy, as if they just have these small little things they're attached to, and then all of this stuff on the ends and bottoms, right? So that's kind of the look I'm going for personally. So what I did is I did one at a time. Some people like to kind of plan things out. They'll do all of the small things and then kind of add all the foliage on top. You can do that if you want, but personally I like to kind of work one at a time just to kind of see how they looked individually and then stacked more on top. But yeah, what I do is I start with a thin line of black, and then you can see all these are just kind of thin lines kind of hanging. That's how I describe them. They're all very much hanging off. So even if they're high up, you can see they kind of go up and then come down again. They're all just very bendy, hanging all down, right? So kind of note that. Again, note that they're all kind of near the ends, maybe about halfway down is where they start. And you can see that they get very thick in the middles as well. So you can see all of these, they're pure black in the middle. It's really just the outsides where you start to see all of the nice detail. Everything starts to split apart and hang down. And in terms of the lengths and the size, those don't really change a whole lot. Yeah, let's look at this guy. You can see all of its little pieces are hanging down. They don't really get longer or shorter, but I guess because they're coming to a tip, maybe they bunch up a little bit more. So that's kind of where you get the shape, right? They start very wide and they kind of come to a tip. It's just because there's less, I guess, hanging on, and they kind of sprawl out a little bit more. So it kind of looks like they come to a tip, but it's not like they get any shorter or anything like that. Yeah, so those are like general tips, and what I'll do is I'll talk more as I go around with you. I guess you can note as well, anything that's kind of straight out like that, the top edge, you can still see it, but it hangs. So you won't be doing anything spiky up here. You'll be kind of turning them down. Again, maybe I'll talk a little more about specific things like that as I come to the leaves. Let's do that. All right, so the brush I'm using a nice small detail brush. I would just grab the smallest brush you have, use that. Kimberly, I think that'll be up to you, kind of. Like, I think I'll be painting past 10 personally. If you go quicker, you could probably get it done relatively quick, but yeah, I'll probably be here after 10 for sure. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing my detail brush, I'm grabbing black paint, but I'm also dipping my brush in my water because that helps water down the paint a little bit, and I found that very helpful when I was trying to do those little thin lines at the ends of my leaves. I'll show you that closer in a minute, but even just for the first little branch or stem of the leaf, I like to use a little bit of a watery black. It'll help really get a nice smooth, thin, consistent stroke. So you can start anywhere in the middle, even if you want to just like mark a little area and just kind of sprawl these from that area, or if it's at the top of your trunk, that's fine, whatever. I end up filling up this middle area a little bit anyway. So I'm just going to start with a nice, I need to put this down to do this. nice kind of curved line coming out. I'll start with one of these ones over here. So I'm going to come out. It's going to hang kind of down a little bit. It's again very heavy. I'm going to start with that. If you're worried about how long or how short to make these, start a little shorter. It's a lot easier to make them longer, right? You can kind of add the individual leaves and make it longer as you go. So if there's one suggestion there, make it shorter than you think. So again, I'm starting with just a nice consistent line for the palm leaf. It does not need to come to a tip because we're just going to be filling that up anyway. Okay, I'm just grabbing a little more black, a little more water on my brush. So I'm going to start wherever I want, wherever I think about halfway down is. So let's say I'm starting about here. And again, it's going to be a lot of patience and a lot of work, but we're just going to be adding very thin lines coming out. So I'm going to be starting here and I'm going to be dragging these kind of down. All very clustered. They're all kind of crisscrossing as they go. And you can see these nice thin lines. These are created because I'm using this watered down black paint. So it's not totally liquid. It's just that I'm dipping my brush in the water. I'm tapping into the paint. You can even wipe your bristles on the side of your plate if you want. But again, this really helps me create some nice thin lines. So I'm trying my best to really get them nice and tight together, but you can see sprawling and separating on the ends. You'll have some that are a little longer, kind of like gangly looking. You'll have a few shorter. That'll all add to your leaf. And again, I find it important to really fill up the base. So if you want to go back to the very base here and really just brush on black paint, you're not really making individual lines at that point. You can do that just to really thicken up the base a little bit more. So again, you only really see the ends here. See how filled up that ended up being? I just took black. You don't worry about lines here, just kind of caking it on top, filling that up. So that's the bottom edge. So that was that kind of left-hand edge, but more the bottom, I would say, of that curve. And that's everything hanging down, right? It makes sense. Gravity's kind of pulling these down. They're all very hangy, very loose. They curve a little bit, like they can be nice and messy. They don't need to be straight. Again, overlapping each other. I guess one thing I'll say is I do throw a few short ones kind of at the start here. Let's say that, yeah. But otherwise, I would say the lengths are all about the same. These ones are just hanging down lower because they're lower down that branch there. Okay, and then I'm doing the top edge here, and it's the same idea, but the only difference is because it's the top edge, things are going to be hanging down again. So you still want to see that side, but they're not going to be like sticking out. They're not going to be flaring out just like these are. They're going to be a little more tight and maybe curving kind of down as they go. So see how I'm kind of going up and then down again. Because again, gravity's pulling them down. So you still want to see them. They're just not going to be, you know, very perky. They're not going to be sticking straight up. They kind of come up and then immediately come down. And the more you stack on, the more you'll start to see that. And the more you'll start to fill up the middles too. Again, it looks just like very wet, very heavy, droopy. Yeah, that's how that's looking. So you start with that, and you can make them a little longer. Like this is looking good already, but you can make them a little longer if you wish. If maybe you're looking at this and you're like, oh, I could thicken up the middle a little more and extend a few of these guys, do it. You can extend a few extra, see how it's looking. Maybe you want to wait until you add more palm leaves and kind of make that judgment later. But again, those are really the basic tips there. Nice thick middle, very hanging looking leaves. There you go. So it's so weighed down. It's very heavy. Yeah. Nice, Kimberly. So that's just one. So like I said, it's pretty much the same thing all the way around. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts as I go around because again, things might kind of twist and turn a little differently. But as long as you think of it that way, that things are being pulled down. If you have an edge on the bottom, great, you can do some straight down ones. If you have an edge on the top, you'll have to curve them quickly and hang them down, right? If they're on the top, they might swing a little left or a little right. They're going to be weighed down. You can make them either curve or you can make them really harshly edged. Like, let me show you. Again, I'll show you as I paint them, but some of these guys up here, you know how sometimes the leaves kind of snap? They might go like, you know? Again, sound effects are important, but yeah, very edgy, very sharp, versus some might be a little more curved. See, that guy curves like he's kind of blowing a little more. So just switch those up too. They can be sharp or curved. Okay, so you guys just, again, now you can go at your own pace. This is really all there is left, just adding all these around. And in the middle, what I do, just in case anyone's wondering, but I'll go through it, is this is actually another palm leaf, because if you're looking straight at something, there might be one coming forward or back, right? So it is a little, you know, bit of a mind trip there. You're not really going right or left, but you're just kind of creating some hanging leaves as if something is facing forward or backward, and that ends up filling up the middle. So just in case anyone's wondering that, I heard someone say, will this be past 10? If you want, you can just kind of keep that in mind for the last part, but otherwise, all the same steps all the way around, and that completes the whole thing. So just so you know. But again, I'll walk you through it. Cool. So I hope that's turning out for everybody. I know Kim said she was loving it, which is awesome. Maybe I'll do one below just to switch it up here rather than going, no, I'll go clockwise. This is clockwise. Something else I'm realizing too, of course, as they get further down, they'll kind of appear a little longer. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of making about the same size of each stem or each branch, but they're going to come a little further down as they get straighter, right? So keep that in mind too. So I'll start with that, and then I'll just go from there. Oh, no, I'm going to make it longer. Duh. There we go. So hopefully you saw how easy it was to make it longer, right? Like you can just start to add your little individual leaves or little leaves. And then if you need to, you can keep adding and adding and adding and just extending the branch even though you didn't start with a longer branch, right? You can just kind of decide as you go. Again, I think it's important to kind of give these a little bit of flow as well, so they're not all perfectly straight. They kind of wiggle a little bit. Makes them look like they're kind of flowing in the wind a bit. And it helps them, you know, crisscross around and make them nice and sharp at the edges. If you make them flow a little, it'll make them all nice and individual. You'll see lots of space between them, rather than if they're all straight and all going the same way. They'll kind of look like they're all lined up and, you know, not as separated, right? Okay, so again, I like to add them first, and then I go in and bulk up the middle a little bit. That's another guy. And that guy's, that branch was a little thicker. That's cool. You'll have some thicker and thinner branches too. It just all adds to the variety. No worries, Gagnon. Yeah, you have a nice, like, nearly there painting. You can find some paint and give it a nice completed look whenever you're ready. I'm going to fit one more in here. I guess another thing about spacing is if you're ever wondering if you should fit just one more palm leaf, just try maybe to leave the space for now. You can always go back and add, right? Again, it's easier to do less or anything smaller, and then you can always make it bigger or add more later. It's way easier to do that rather than erasing. Erasing or covering up is possible, but obviously a little less stressful to just say, oh, I'll just add it later. I'll try it later if I need to. And again, that water technique, man, I can't tell you how much that changed this painting when I was trying to do these palm leaves with just plain black paint. So much trouble trying to get these thin lines, and then like, why not water it down? And it helps so much. So I really hope that's helping you guys too, just adding the smallest amount of water. Again, it's not watercolor. It's just making the paint a tiny bit thinner, and so it just flows off of your brush way easier and gets these beautiful thin lines. I couldn't believe that I was doing these thin lines. Like, no way. It's so cool to discover. So I always avoid water because it just, you know, to me, when I feel like when I think of adding water to paint, it gets messy and it thins it out too. It doesn't create this beautiful, like, very dark black color. It's more like a gray, but adding just the smallest amount by dipping your brush in and then going in the paint was like, just made my day. You can even throw one if you want, again, like it's kind of in front of your trunk here, and then maybe you just see a few of the little sprigs coming out, little leaves individually, just hiding behind, you know? Don't forget about him. Again, if he's going straight down, he's going to be a little bit longer. Oh, he's pretty long. I started him way up there. Lots of leaves on him. Yeah, so that guy looks like he's either hiding behind or in front of the trunk and you just can't see it because it's all silhouette. So keep that in mind too. You might have a couple of those type things. You're not doing a whole leaf, it's just kind of hiding with something. Here's another variety tip. You can make some that are super thin. This guy's just super droopy. Maybe he's not quite as big as his friends over here. It's just very thin and just kind of coming down like that. A little shorter as well. He's growing. He'll have his time. But yeah, make these lines a little tighter together to make it thinner. You can still see the individual strokes, but just a little closer together. I'll throw in one of those guys on the left just to keep it consistent. But again, if you throw those anywhere, that's good, just to give any variety, anywhere you like. So again, this side will be significantly shorter considering he's hanging down straight. And I'll make sure his little lines are a little tighter this time. That way it looks just a little smaller. It's just a newer leaf on the tree. And I'll carry them up further, why not? I think that's what I did on that one. I carried these up a little further so we had less of just the individual branch. He just is more covered in leaves all the way up. One or two of those is totally fine just to give some variety. Yeah, just a little mini guy. You could, Kimberly. That would be such a good idea for the middle. If you have any space in the middle, Kimberly said, can I add coconuts or can we add coconuts? Yeah, that would be very easy to do too. All you would do is just use the black and literally just make round objects wherever you might have a little bit of space. They don't need to be super prominent. They don't need to be full visible circles. They can kind of be hiding amongst your stems. And then like an expert step, you could like go in with maybe a little bit of gray and just kind of outline a slight little curve just to really highlight it as if maybe there's some light bouncing off of it, just so it's not completely hidden. But if you'd rather keep it a little more hidden, like it's your own little secret in the painting, you can certainly do that too. But that would be a really cool, just yeah, a little extra step too, adding that little bit of gray. So again, I'm on the bottom edge, so I'm going to hang them down. They're all coming down with the gravity. And then these top ones, they kind of come out and down as well. So again, they all start by coming out so you can still see them, but then they come right down again with the gravity as well. So they're all kind of curving over one another, trying to reach up, and then they just say, ah, too heavy, come back down. Bulking up the middle. Cool. You can see how it's coming together with each palm leaf. Sure, the first one you're like, oh, it just looks weird kind of hanging there, but the more you add, the more it adds to the painting itself. Where they all look like they're supposed to be there all together. And again, I kind of like to see, I kind of compare to my other leaves here. So if this guy's angled the same way, I'm like, okay, I want to match them maybe a little bit. If one's a little higher, a little lower, that's fine. But just to keep kind of the roundness of the whole thing, that'll help. So you can see how they're all kind of curving down and then up, even though I have this individual guy here who's just a little short. In general, they're all starting to form a nice kind of curve around. So you get that nice circular shape in the end. So again, there will be individuals that, you know, stand out from the pack. And that's okay, as long as they're all generally following similar rules. That's okay, Bernadine. Yeah, I'll see you Sunday. And keep your eye on the page. Maybe I'll try and post this up in a condensed version for you to watch at a future time. Yeah, for those who don't know, I'll talk about that. I'm trying to, I'm thinking of, well, yeah, I'm going to try to post up these events in condensed versions. So it won't be a whole, 2, 3 hours or whatnot with me just kind of talking here and there. It'll be condensed versions into my actual steps. So if someone did want to watch this later, they could. And what they could do is watch it and start and stop the video and pause where they need to. And maybe still get some fun banter in there here and there if we're talking about anything interesting. Maybe I'll leave it in, but otherwise it'll be mostly my steps. And yeah, again, that way people can go at their own pace and just kind of watch on their own. And because I understand sometimes people miss these, and that's okay. Yeah, Bernadine, yeah, keep your eye on the page. Again, it won't be immediate. I want to be able to edit it into something a little bit more viewable. So that's my goal. But yeah, I'll make an announcement on the page. I'll give you a link if that goes up, and see how that goes. I would love to do that. As much as I love the idea of people coming and experiencing this together, which I hope we continue to do. Yeah, I also like the idea of being able to keep these videos available if people want them later. And even for you guys too, right? Maybe you want to review a certain step or two, you want to rewatch it and kind of go back to your painting, you'll have the ability to do that. So that's my thought. If anyone has opinions or comments, let me know. Well, that just jogged my memory too. At one point I was like, I'll talk more about my volcano plate, and then I didn't. Someone was saying, I wonder what it would look like inside or what it would look like if you split it. I want to do that. I was thinking that would be a fun little event if I made it like a volcano plate event and we were to split the volcano plate open. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that. It'll kind of be a weird thing where I have to start a new volcano plate and kind of let go of that guy. Maybe there will be one day where I'm just like, he's too big. I got to split him now. And when that day comes, I'll let you know. But I think that would be really fun if we could like split it open together and see what was inside and maybe make a dedication to volcano plate. I don't know. It's been around a while. It's part of my life for 5 years. I tried the mullings. What's the birthday tree? It looks like a blob. Okay. Maybe just trying to add a couple more kind of very squiggly, longer ones, just to kind of split up the blob. Add a couple really scraggly looking guys. And that might make it look a little more split apart, even though it's maybe more blobby here. Like mine's pretty thick there too, and I just added a couple scragglies. Helps make it look a little more loose in total. You're welcome, Haley. Thanks for coming. Hope to see you again, maybe on Sunday. I think you said you were coming Sunday, so I'll watch for you there. Yeah, again, I will be completing this whole painting here for you guys if you want to continue to hang out and paint with me, but if anyone does need to go, totally understand. Again, it's meant for just if you want to hang out, you can. If you'd rather take what you learned and play around yourself, you can. Yeah, I'll keep going here. You can see I'm just constantly going back to my palm leaves and adding to them. Maybe after I add it and look at it compared to everything else, maybe one looks a little tighter or a little more scraggly and I want to move it around a bit. You can do that, right? You have the ability to move things around and add to them. It's great. So again, you can see I'm moving my way around. I now have a nice, pretty much straight out one. It's still kind of curved a little bit, of course, but it mostly comes straight out of the tree. So again, the bottom edge is all going to be very hanging, squiggly lines. All hanging down. I love the hanging ones kind of on the bottom edge. Really cool. Nice and long. So you can see I kind of thickened up the middle as I went there. You can either do that as you go or after you've done both sides, but I did it as I went, and now I'm going to do the top edge. If you want another close-up of the top edge, again, what I do is I pull out and then immediately curve down. So kind of following the direction of my branch a little bit. So they still have a little bit of height, but mostly they're curving down. Curving or doing that sharp edge, either one works. You can do some abrupt ones that go really high up and then curve right down, like doing a few of those, kind of like a spidery look. And they all kind of come down on the side here, on the tip. I'm gonna bulk up that middle. I think that guy's good too. Again, it's cool. I think it's cool to have a couple really individual ones like that. It really makes it look a little more realistic. Like a few of them are really poking out. What did you see? Oh, don't kill a volcano. Oh, it's not killing him. It's just, we're just trying to see what's inside. Okay, well, I'll keep it in mind. You're welcome, Lisa. You're welcome, Harpreet. From the Auroras. Nice. Oh, Kristen, thank you for asking. There are tip links in the top description there. Thank you. You can, Kimberly. Why the heck not? If it's like a more of a dusk type thing, you can do some stars. And then, sure, Alison, maybe I'll skip right to a top leaf just to show you what I do. So I'll go straight up, or mostly straight up, maybe. You can see it's pretty straight up. So the leaves on the top, they kind of want to choose whether they're going left or right. And you're probably either going left or right depending on the side you're on. So on the left-hand side, they still want to kind of pull up and out of the branch. So you can pull them out a little bit, but then they immediately say, oh, gravity, and they go woo down like that. So they go, so they're trying their hardest, and then they're like, oh, it's just too heavy. So they kind of abruptly come out and then curve down. Start with a few short ones if you want down here, and then they get nice and long. And then I do something a little different at the top, but I'll show you that as I go. Okay, so again, curving up and then right down again. Oop, that was very thick. Get a thick one or two, that's cool. I'm just going to extend it out further to make it thinner. And then at the top, what you can do is you could do a few more at the top that are a little more straight up, like maybe the top ones, the very top ones are really reaching up high and they're like, yes, I've made it. They're coming out. They still curve a little bit over, but they are trying their best to reach up high in the sky. Hopefully that's helping you there. And that way you keep the nice kind of tip at the end there. It keeps it a little more kind of thin and together, right? You're getting the few that are nice and straight up or kind of squiggling up. And then as you go on the other side, it's pretty much the same thing. You can do, again, a couple that kind of curve up and out if you want. But for the most part, I like to do this whole up and then down thing. Again, I picture them just kind of wet and very hanging and heavy. That's kind of what I think of when I'm doing these, how heavy they are, right? They're kind of going woo, down like that. Again, maybe there's a few that make their way up, but, oh, sorry, that light I can see. You can see it coming together there. I just need to bulk up the middle to make it look a little more together and complete. So I'm bulking up the middle now. There we go, all the way up there. And that's the top guy there. And actually, I'll do a couple more that are hanging like almost straight down, almost like they didn't even curve. They'll just kind of like wiggle down like this. These guys are really heavy down here. So it'll almost appear like these are starting closer to the base here, but it's just because they're all hanging down, right? They're all starting here, but they hang down, so it'll come closer to the middle. I won't, Diana. Yeah. Yeah, everyone else, if you're leaving now, don't forget to sign your painting. See you Sunday, Susie. Yeah, Karen, of course. And you're welcome, Jessica. Brandy, Peyton, Alina, thanks for coming. Yeah, I'll keep going, guys. Yeah, let's do a middle one. So I'll show the middle and then I'll try my best to replicate. So again, it's as if maybe a leaf is coming straight at you or straight back. So it's kind of weird to describe because you can see it's not really you're creating a stem, you're not really creating a line. that you're following along with. I just kind of did a few kind of hanging down leaves. You can see very close to the middle, so as if a stem was right here. It doesn't really make sense to make the stem and then do it. I just kind of did the hanging lines by themselves, you know, because you wouldn't really see the stem anyway if it's coming straight at you or straight back. So let me just do one here. It'll look maybe a little out of place just because I haven't gone all the way around, but you can just kind of see what I'm doing. So again, I'm not worried about a stem. I'm just going to be doing some hanging lines kind of coming out on the right here. Maybe some kind of come a little more out, but some are hanging. Lots of hanging, guys. And you can see how slowly it just starts to fill up the space. So again, it's so loose, like I didn't even choose anywhere where these are starting. They're just all hanging out on their own, right? So I did one there. You can maybe do one a little higher up, just flicking out this way. Now just add them in small little kind of bunches or areas until you feel like the middle is full enough. I usually, when I did that one, I left this for the end. And again, I just kind of made a judgment call of how much I wanted to do, so it didn't look completely empty in the middle. So I'll stop there for now, and then I'll go back to the middle if I feel like I need to fill it up. But that's basically it. Just adding those individual leaves in the same fashion we did, just without using its own stem. You're welcome, Charlene. Yeah, Lori, you can do whatever style you like. Again, I usually know palm trees as like without these stems, I would say. I do the stem and then I cover them all up. So this was a fun little switch up for me that I could try out this new technique. It was so cool. I thought it looked so detailed and I was like, oh, I can't believe I made that. And I hope you're all saying the same thing too. You're just like, oh, I can't believe this is what I did. You know? It's a really cool feeling. One more comment about placement. Every now and then I try my best to get a nice close tight one from the next one. That's not even a great example. I'll make one even tighter next time, but just doing some branches or leaves that are very close together. So again, you get variety. So you're not doing each and every one the same amount of space. You're not going around like a clock. You're trying to mix it up a bit, make it a little more realistic and therefore a little more sporadic. All right. So yeah, it looked like a few of you were kind of signing off saying your goodbyes, which is totally fine. Again, I encourage you to please keep your eye on this page to see what we're doing next and keep sending in your suggestions and things like that. I love chatting with you about what you guys want to see, what you want to do. So feel free to comment, message the page, whatever you want. And thanks for coming. For those who needed to go, again, thank you so much for spending a couple hours. It's really cool how time whips by, in my opinion, while painting. Just a nice little escape. And quite literally today we escaped with a nice little palm tree, so that was really nice. I'll read a couple comments in a second. Just gonna fill up this leaf, get them finished. There he is. So again, you can see I'm trying to keep that round shape. I'm kind of bringing these guys out a little more, and that way it stays nice and round all the way, right? You could do fireworks. You can do whatever you want, Kimberly. Yes. Nice colors in the sky. You have so many ideas. You're welcome, Margaret. No worries, Sharon. You're welcome. See you soon, Charlene. You're welcome, Sherry. And Sarah, I'm glad you're loving it. Yeah, Lori, how did that go? Okay, okay. Yeah, no worries. And Lori, I saw some people helping you out in the comments. They seem to have a lot of good ideas. They said they'd used the same paper you did, and I think they used kind of mediums for the paint to help thin it out a little bit. So there you go. That's great. You can use their suggestions. I would trust them for sure. And Diana, you're welcome from the Feather 4. Yay, awesome. See you Sunday, Melanie. That's okay, Joanne. Difference good. Oh, and before anyone goes too, oh, we've lost some people. But if anyone wants to post photos, please post your photos. I'd love to see what you made. So what I'll be doing is that event page that you RSVP'd to, I'll be opening it up for posting. So if you are willing to share your creation, you can do that. So please do that, and I'll post in that event page to remind everybody too. Love to see what everybody made. You're welcome, Joanne. You're welcome, Nina. Who knows? Maybe I'll just be painting here all by myself. I don't know. I just want to finish it though. So you guys really planned for 2 hours, huh? It sounds like. Just curious, timing wise, longer? Would you like longer? Do you want closer to 2? Because I can keep that in mind for future. I was being a little more relaxed today. I know I said 2 in the event description, but I think I said more or less. 2 hours more or less. Yeah, let me know your opinions too on that. Now or later, it doesn't matter. You're welcome, Karen. You're welcome, Lori. I'll see you Sunday. Thanks, Victoria. I'll keep it in mind. Cool, Catherine. You're welcome, Darlene. Hasita, you're welcome and good night. Awesome, TJ. So I got a few of you. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured too, Catherine. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I hear you guys. Awesome. Yay, thanks, Amy. That's my goal. I just want to skate for a little bit and have some fun. Learn something and have some fun. Right, we could all use that right now, huh? Like, not just escaping, but like having fun too. And learning, like all of it together. It's just like the best combo. Forgetting about what's going on, creating some beautiful art, all of it together. It's just the best. And we're all hanging out too. Not often we can hang out with like 100 others at the same time right now, and we're doing it. So for those still watching wanting some tips, this is more of an angled one up. So again, these top ones are very quickly coming down, curving down, or doing a sharp edge down. The other ones just kind of hanging loose. No worries, Brandy. Yeah. Awesome, Kimberly. I don't think I'll be that much longer. I just, you can see I have a few more to add. I might fill up a space or two, but yeah, we're getting there. And you're welcome, Dorothy. So I probably have a couple more to go. Again, I might kind of look through the painting and see if I want to add any more. But mine's looking pretty full here. Yeah, right? Kim, yeah, like it's just a lot of patience with this one. I'm finding that with a lot of my paintings that I'm creating, like they look pretty intricate and maybe a little scary, but all it is, you can see it's the same technique over and over, the same thoughts in your brain as you go through each leaf. And as long as you're patient with it, like obviously there's lots of these little black lines, so it just takes a little patience to make the black lines, but if you do it, it looks so dang cool. That's okay, Sharon. That's kind of a fun idea too, putting them on the ground as well. You're welcome, Brandy and Peyton. Peyton, that's such a cool skill you have now. You can use that and paint more and learn more as you go. Blending's hard to master too, so if you've got it down already, you're good to go. You can do lots of paintings with just blending. Coming together. So I might bring some of my little leaves in a little closer just because I can see a lot of my stems. But yeah, just little small ones just to kind of fill up the space. That's fine. Again, these are things you do kind of as you go, right? You're just kind of figuring it out and adding as you need. I'm so glad, Kimberly. It's really cool to hear. Considering it's one I made. I was so nervous about it. I was like, oh, will people like it? I don't know. I'm really glad to hear it's one of your faves. So I think I'll probably have two more here. I think I got one, and then I'll do one a little closer to the bottom, like bottom right. But again, you should be looking at yours. You shouldn't, hopefully you're not counting the number I have and trying to match exactly. It should be more so what you think to match up in yours, but how many should be filling up the space. How much space you want in your tree as well. Maybe it's a little more of a new tree and it's just kind of growing some more palm leaves. Maybe it's nice and full. But yeah, using all the same techniques. That's a good idea, Kim. I'll write it down for sure. Awesome, Mish. I'll keep it in mind. Yeah, Mish, if anything, I was wanting to experiment with this one because, like you saw, I kind of taught the technique and it was like, take your time at it. If you want to go over, you can, or if you want to hurry it up, you can. But it's good to know that everyone was kind of more on the 2-hour realm there. You're welcome, Victoria. Thanks for coming. That makes sense. Like I probably, when I'm painting, I usually don't paint for longer than 2 hours at one time, right? So yeah, it's good to know that everyone's kind of on that page too. Okay, so mine's looking pretty complete. Again, I think I could, fiddle around and make these a little tighter. It looks like I left a lot of space on some of the stems here, like a little lopsided. These guys are a little tighter and these guys are a little longer, or maybe just a little off center. I can't really tell. Maybe actually this trunk. This might need to come up a little higher. I think that's what it is. So again, it's up to you to kind of do that to your own tree, make things longer or tighter in the middle if you need. I'm pretty close here, I think. Might add one more just to, again, offset kind of the evenness of some of them. Maybe I'll add one. You know what, it's looking a little short over here, so let's add one right here. And like swing it nice and tight. And hopefully that balances it out a little bit more. You're welcome, Kirsten. See you Sunday. You're welcome, Jen. Yeah. Awesome. I'm so glad you're happy again. Feel free to post. I can't wait to see all your photos. And you're welcome. See you Sunday, Natanya. And you're welcome, Heidi. And Marissa, I'll see you Sunday too. Oh, this is so exciting. You're all coming Sunday. It's going to be the biggest birthday party ever. COVID can't affect me from having a nice big birthday party, so that's awesome. I'm so glad. So again, you can see I really tightly put one here. It's just going to hopefully make that space a little more filled up, and again, offset everything a little bit more, just so it's not quite as even all the way around, and trying to make it a little longer. You can see it kind of rounded it out a little bit more right around there. A little more flowy. Yeah, I like that better. Cool. Yeah, this guy's a little more like gangly than my other guy. That's fine. Just a little bigger. It's grown a little more. All right, I think I'm good with mine. So I think what I'll do is sign mine, and I'll just kind of have a look at the comments, and if anyone has any questions or needs help, I can help you out. But yeah, I'll do a little, maybe I'll do my signature in a cloud. Why not? Just because it was white on white, right? I hid it in my little cloud. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I'll have a look at how you guys are doing, just in terms of comments and stuff. It looks like you're all really set, though. A lot of you were saying you're good. Thank you. Yeah, Jill, do you want me to redo a little of the middle? I can do that. I could try, Kimberly. Oh, awesome, Christy. We can party together. See you Sunday, Cynthia. See you, Darlene. You're welcome. See you, Julie. Yes, Kimberly, of course. Yay, Pina, I'm glad you liked it. An image in an image. Yeah, that is a cool idea. Yeah, a few of you are asking about the middle, so let's do that again. I could bulk up my middle too anyway. So anyway, the middle, pretty much all you're doing for the middle is you're applying kind of like the bottom of the leaf without really creating the stem first. That's really all it is. So you're just choosing anywhere in the middle that you want to bulk up. Maybe for me it's over here. I kind of did a little already, but I'll do a little more. Really, I'm just taking my brush and doing those little small little wispy streaks as if again a leaf is either coming at us or far from us, away from us is what I should say. And I'm doing these little wispy streaks, so they're kind of filling up the middle. And again, they're not coming off of a stem. I'm just literally adding them wherever, just anywhere from the middle, kind of filling up any space that I see. And slowly what they'll do is they'll bulk up the middle without, you know, putting a whole big blotch in there, right? You still see some of the individual, or the gaps rather. And again, the viewer doesn't really see a stem or anything like that. It's just as if something is kind of, again, coming at us or behind us, so, or away from us. I don't know why I keep messing that up. But yeah, just individual leafy strokes going anywhere too. And again, just thinking of gravity, right? Like wherever they're going, they're going to be hanging down. So even if you want to bring them up, they're just going to hang down again. These guys are all going to be flowing down a little bit, just kind of sporadically like that. And again, you'll find the more you add, the more it fills up the middle. But if you would like to tap some black in the middle just to really fill it, you can, as long as there's small leaves coming out just to kind of help break it up on the edges. Totally fine. Let me know if you need clarification on that, or if you want another little demo, but I think that should be good. Especially because I said that was kind of like the last step there, so maybe that's what you were waiting for there. Oh, I just want to add one more. I can do this all day. You're welcome, Jill. I'm glad that helped you. I just wanted to fill up this little space a little bit more. I felt like it was a little empty, probably because it had that little guy there. So I'm going to keep the little guy and just add another nice long friend beside him. Walking him up. Yeah, that filled it up a little bit better. Cool. Okay, and I signed my painting, so I should really stop playing with it. Yay! All right. Thank you guys for coming. I'm seeing so many thank yous, but thank you guys all for coming. And for, yeah, just finding me in 2 days. Like, this page is brand new, and I'm so glad we had so many of you coming out, so that's really exciting. Again, I'll remind you, I've already posted our next event. It's going to be Sunday at 2 p.m. So if you want to hang out with me at 2 p.m. on Sunday, you can RSVP to that event page, and that way you're notified when we go live, because I always post an event link when we go live. And otherwise, just keep your eye on the page for some new, fun, exciting things. Again, I'm going to be experimenting with like types of streams that we're doing. So yeah, I really can't wait to experiment with everybody here and see what you all want to do. I wrote down all those suggestions for painting themes, and I can't wait to get creative with all of those. Yeah, you're welcome, Shauna. Ooh, first painting for you. Awesome. You're welcome, Kristen, Vaughn, and Angela. Yes, see you Sunday. And Crystal, you're welcome as well. Amazing. And again, you can keep your eye on this page. I don't know when this video will be posted, but I'm going to try my best to get it maybe in a week or so. So if you want to kind of review it, again, I'm going to try my best to get a condensed version. This was kind of a test. I'm kind of recording in the background here and on here, so we'll see what kind of footage I get, and I'll try and splice it together into something nice for you. And Josie, you're welcome. Teresa, you're welcome. Darlene, so just when you go to the event page, it'll say attending or interested in or interested, and you can click either of those. And then that way Facebook notifies you when we go live. Otherwise, if you just want to check back on our page just before 2 p.m., you can. I always post the link, you know, about half an hour beforehand. So you can check for that and just join in whenever you're ready before 2 p.m. Yeah, I'm glad too, Carla. Josie, see you Sunday. 2 p.m. Sunday, Lauren. That's 2 p.m. Eastern time. EST. Gagnon, you're welcome. Good luck playing around when you get more paint. I'm glad you love it, Jill. Perfect, Lauren. Yep. No worries. Whatever works for everybody here. We'll have lots going, so you can pick and choose what you want. Okay, I'm going to end off here. You're welcome, Anna. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I'll end off here. So thanks again, everybody, for coming, and I'll see you at the next one. Okay, bye. Ending video.